Technological divergence from the Type 59. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 1. Oh my god, how did I travel through time? 1984. The country was at a critical juncture in economic development, and everything had to give way to the economy. Against this backdrop, life was becoming increasingly difficult for the major third-tier military factories. All of the once glorious Yan state military enterprises were now facing unprecedented difficulties. Faced with this dire situation, the higher-ups, after careful consideration, decided to take a bold step. They would select a group of talented graduates from various universities and assign them to lead the third-tier military factories. Cough. 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 Lin Chenran coughed violently, taking in his surroundings. The surrounding walls were a dated grayish-white hue, the white sheets seemed a bit harsh, and the air was filled with a strong smell of disinfectant. This Lin Chenran frowned, muttering to himself in confusion. How did I end up in a hospital? He looked around, trying to find an answer, but the scene before him felt both strange and familiar. Suddenly, a thought flashed through his mind. This didn't seem like an ordinary hospital room. Lin Chenran began to survey the ward carefully. He noticed there was no air conditioning, nor any old-fashioned televisions with only a few channels. A wave of unease suddenly washed over him. Suddenly, a torrent of memories flooded his mind like a tidal wave. Instantly, he felt an unprecedented pain. He clutched his head tightly, groaning in agony. Soon, he began to adjust and digest the flood of memories. He muttered, I can't believe I've been so lucky to become part of this vast army of time travelers. Huh? Where's the system? Lin Chenran suddenly realized something was missing. Doesn't every time traveler have a system? So, he began trying various methods to awaken the system. He shouted, chanted slogans, and even made strange gestures, but to no avail. Perhaps the system needs some time to awaken. I'll wait patiently, Lin Chenran said, calming himself. Then, he gathered his thoughts. My predecessor, a graduate of Yan University, enthusiastically responded to the national reform plan to participate in the transformation of the third-tier military factories. Before taking office, Lin Chenran declared, I'm confident I can help the 077 Machinery and Military Factory, Liang Military Factory, overcome its challenges, allowing it to flourish and become a benchmark in the military industry. After taking office, Lin Chenran declared, who the hell signed me up? After Lin Chenran took over the 077 Machinery and Military Factory, various problems arose. Lin Chenran was so angry that he was hospitalized. The 077 Machinery and Military Factory's biggest problems, personnel turnover, outdated equipment, and the cancellation of previous small military projects. All access to funding for the 077 Machinery and Military Factory was cut off. The Yan state military was also helpless. To make way for economic development, military spending was slashed by more than half. These budget cuts put many third-tier military factories at risk of closure, and the 077 Machinery and Military Factory was no exception. Several small projects were cancelled by the military due to a lack of sufficient funds to support the operation and development of the third-tier military factories. The factory was in dire straits. Higher-ups decided to take a risk and adopt an unusual strategy, selecting a group of talented graduates from major universities and assigning them to lead third-tier military factories. Lin Chenran's primary challenge now was the financial situation of the 077 Mechanical Military Factory. The company was severely short of funds. Even the factory's employees' salaries couldn't be paid on time. More pressingly, if the funding issue wasn't resolved promptly, the relevant certificates for military production and manufacturing would likely be revoked by higher authorities. Without new military orders, there would be no employees and no new products. The 077 Mechanical Military Factory was caught in a vicious cycle. Just as Lin Chenran was struggling, a cold, mechanical voice suddenly echoed in his mind. Ding dong. Congratulations to the host for successfully traveling to 1984 and awakening the Transmigration System. This system's initial awakening rewards the host with a precious opportunity to transmigrate through the heavens. The sudden system notification sounded like a beautiful melody from heaven, filling Lin Chenran with immense excitement and excitement. His own golden finger finally appeared. As expected, online novels are not deceiving. Golden fingers are essential for time travel. Time travel exchange system? Lin Chenran's heart was full of doubts. How to exchange? He asked puzzledly. Literally, it means that you can travel to other dimensions of the world and exchange items with the natives of the world. Lin Chenran was a little confused and continued to ask, what is a world of other dimensions? Since the world you travel to is random, you may go to the future world or the world of other anim. Of course, after the two parties in the exchange are familiar with each other, you can directly summon the other party to exchange. Lin Chenran suddenly realized, so that's it. Although simple, it is very practical. Thinking of this, Lin Chenran became excited instantly. In this case, without further delay, Lin Chenran decided to use his precious first opportunity to travel through the world. Does the host start the time travel through the world? A cold mechanical voice sounded in his mind. Yes or no? Yes. Lin Chenran shouted in a firm tone. As Lin Chenran responded, a powerful force swept over him in an instant, making him feel dizzy. It seemed as if the whole world was spinning, and his vision became blurred. When Lin Chenran opened his eyes again, he was surprised to find that he was no longer in the hospital. The surrounding environment had completely changed and was very unfamiliar. It was also magical. Lin Chenran widened his eyes and looked at the scene in disbelief. Oh my god, isn't this the world of Doraemon? Familiar streets, familiar houses. Lin Chenran was very surprised. Then Lin Chenran sorted out his thoughts and recalled the address of Nobitanobe's house. In the blink of an eye, Lin Chenran arrived at Nobitanobe's house. At this time, a familiar voice rang out. Then he looked down and saw the familiar blue and white raccoon cat and the familiar Nobita. Doraemon, please, do you have any props to teach the hateful fat tiger and Sunia a lesson? Nobitanobe pleaded. No, Nobita, there is no such prop at all. Don't even think about it. Doraemon refused righteously. If you don't want to lend it to me, forget it. I don't want it. Then Nobitanobe left his bedroom on the second floor and went to find his future wife Shizuka for comfort. A sense of familiarity came directly to Lin Chenran's heart. Every time Nobita was bullied by Fat Tiger and Sunia, he would find Doraemon to beg and then get the way. Doraemon. Lin Chenran tried to call softly. Chapter 2. Successfully exchanged with Doraemon and obtained 3 items. Doraemon looked around curiously. He murmured softly, someone's calling my name. Is it Nobita causing trouble? Just then, Lin Chenran appeared in the second floor bedroom like a ghost. He shouted, it's not Nobita. Who are you? Doraemon was startled by Lin Chenran's sudden appearance. He hurriedly pulled out his air cannon from his bag of tricks and assumed a ferocious stance. However, Lin Chenran could tell at a glance that Doraemon was nervous. Otherwise, why would his short, plump legs be shaking uncontrollably? Doraemon, don't be afraid. Be careful, don't accidentally activate that air cannon. I'm a traveler across time and space who happened to come to this strange world. I came here to satisfy my curiosity, Lin Chenran explained to Doraemon, his lips curling slightly. Traveler? Oh, no. Doraemon exclaimed. Because Doraemon was too nervous, his hands were shaking involuntarily, and he accidentally activated the air cannon. With a sharp whistling sound, an invisible and powerful airflow rushed out like a wild horse, heading straight towards Lin Chenran. Faced with the sudden attack, Lin Chenran was unusually calm. Just when the air cannon was about to hit Lin Chenran, he suddenly stretched out his right hand and grabbed it accurately. The seemingly ferocious air cannon seemed to be under a spell and could not move in Lin Chenran's hand. Then Lin Chenran gently pinched it, and the air cannon dissipated like smoke without a trace. Seeing this, Doraemon immediately wanted to reach into the treasure bag, wanting to take out more powerful weapons to deal with Lin Chenran. Lin Chenran said calmly, don't be nervous, Doraemon. I mean no harm. If I had any ill intentions, you would have been forced to fly long ago. Doraemon immediately put away his air cannon. Indeed, in the face of a powerful being, all resistance is futile. I'm a time traveler who happened to come to your world. I'm quite interested in your items. I can trade you for your favorite Dorayaki. Really? Doraemon's guard dropped immediately at the mention of Dorayaki, his eyes lighting up with love. Dorayaki has always been his favorite food. Since Nobita's family wasn't well off, they couldn't let Doraemon have as much Dorayaki as he wanted. Really? Okay, let's trade. Doraemon agreed immediately. The allure of Dorayaki was too great for him. I need that air cannon you were holding, as well as memory bread and efficiency pills. After a moment's contemplation, Lin Chenran spoke out what he truly desired. Initially, Lin Chenran hadn't been particularly interested in memory bread. He knew full well that memory bread had a significant flaw. It could only expand a tiny portion of knowledge, and if the user went to the restroom, all the bread consumed previously would be wasted. Memory bread was a rather useless item. However, the system indicated that after he successfully traveled back to 1984, the memory bread would undergo a significant change. It wouldn't be as useless as the world of Doraemon. As for what kind of changes would occur, the system didn't specify. Given that, Lin Chenran chose the memory bread without hesitation. A gamble. A bicycle becomes a motorcycle. The air cannon would be very useful. And the efficiency pill, not to mention, would greatly improve efficiency. It would perfectly suit the needs of the 077 mechanical arsenal. Doraemon thought for a moment before agreeing. No problem, I'll trade with you. Doraemon knew that, aside from the air cannon, the other two items were useless. He hadn't expected Lin Chenran to choose these two. Then, Doraemon pulled 3 items from his treasure bag. Where's my Dorayaki? Lin Chenran waved his hand, and a small mountain of Dorayaki appeared before Doraemon. This was purchased from the system using Lin Chenran's 1984 allowance. The Dorayaki, as tall as a small mountain, had consumed all of Lin Chenran's allowance. He had no choice but to be generous the first time. He had to leave a good impression on Doraemon. If Lin Chenran were to travel back to the world of Doraemon later, he would be able to easily exchange it for other items. Doraemon saw the pile of Dorayaki and quickly handed the air cannon, memory bread, and efficiency pills to Lin Chenran, fearing that the mountain of Dorayaki would disappear before him. Here, Lin Chenran took the 3 items from Doraemon, played with them for a moment, and then put them back into his system backpack. Then Lin Chenran said calmly, "Doraemon, see you again," and disappeared from his sight. How is that possible? Doraemon was surprised, but then he realized it was none of his business and immediately began to enjoy the exchanged Dorayaki. He'd never known until he tried it, and he immediately fell in love with the taste. It was 100 times better than ordinary Dorayaki. Suddenly, Nobita pushed open the door and said, "Doraemon, you have so much Dorayaki, and you didn't share any with me? Damn it. That's not true." Leaving the Doraemon world and returning to the real world, the system's mechanical voice followed. Congratulations to the host for successfully reaching a deal with Doraemon, receiving the improved memory bread, air cannon, and improved efficiency pill. Transaction completed. Lin Chenran eagerly entered the system, wanting to see the effects of the 2 improved items. Improved memory bread. After consuming it, you can revisit past memories and increase your intelligence by 20%. Improved efficiency pill. After consuming it, your efficiency doubles within a month, but after a month, it drops to 20%. Seeing this, Lin Chenran smiled brightly. The system is indeed reliable. The effects of the 2 improved props are hundreds of times better than before. Especially the memory bread, which used to be a super useless prop. After going to the toilet, the copied and pasted knowledge would disappear. But now it is different. It will not disappear, and the intelligence will be increased by 20%. Lin Chenran took out the memory bread from the system backpack and chewed it slowly. Although it doesn't taste very good, it can fill the stomach. The moment he finished eating the memory bread, Lin Chenran entered a mysterious state. The brain was working quickly. The memories in his mind kept flashing by. After a long time, Lin Chenran sighed deeply. Is this the improved memory bread? This effect is really too strong. Chapter 3 Type 59 Civilian engineering vehicles roll off the production line quickly. As expected, trust the system and eat your fill. Is this the improved memory bread? Lin Chenran widened his eyes, staring at the seemingly ordinary bread in his hand in disbelief. Too powerful. he muttered to himself, with an uncontrollable excitement in his heart. After eating the memory bread, Lin Chenran felt that the world in front of him became exceptionally clear and bright. The military knowledge that once gave him a headache was now deeply ingrained in his mind like a brand. He could even easily understand and master some extremely complex theories and techniques. This wonderful change made him ecstatic. The military knowledge that was difficult to understand before now became simple and easy to understand in his eyes, and everything became clear. After returning to reality, Lin Chenran began to fall into deep thought. Now the 077 mechanical arsenal is facing an unprecedented predicament. If a solution is not found in time, the consequences will be disastrous. Just as he was thinking hard, suddenly, an inspiration flashed through his mind like lightning. That's right, that is the old horse in the stable, the Type 59 tank. As the country vigorously develops its economy, infrastructure construction has also developed rapidly, requiring many engineering vehicles, such as bulldozers and excavators. However, no factory in the country can produce engineering vehicles. If you want an engineering vehicle, you must import it. Imported engineering vehicles are very expensive, and it is very inconvenient to repair. After all, repairs still require foreign engineers to come to Yan country for repairs. Look, the Type 59 tank modified civilian engineering vehicle is very in line with market demand. It can directly solve all the problems now faced by the 077 machinery and military factory. Immediately, Lin Chenran hurriedly left the hospital in a hospital gown and asked his assistant to notify all senior executives to come to the conference room for a meeting. The senior executives of the 077 machinery and military factory who received the notice were puzzled. Director Lin Chenran held another meeting to discuss new projects. Wasn't he in the hospital? Although the senior executives of the 077 machinery and military factory were not optimistic about Lin Chenran, they still wanted to know about Lin Chenran's new project. The 077 machinery and military factory had already reached a dead end. After a long time, the senior executives of the 077 machinery and military factory came to the conference room. Lin Chenran, wearing a hospital gown, followed closely behind. Are all here? Lin Chenran looked around, sizing up the senior executives of the 077 machinery and military factory. Everyone is here, the assistant whispered in Lin Chenran's ear. Now that all the senior executives were present, the meeting officially began. The Type 59 tank has been modified into a civilian engineering vehicle, Lin Chenran said directly to the point. The Type 59 tank has been modified into a civilian engineering vehicle, a civilian engineering vehicle. The senior executives of the 077 machinery and military factory were surprised. Are the two related? A tank modified into an engineering vehicle, this is too sci-fi. With the country's vigorous economic development, infrastructure construction has grown rapidly, and with it comes the demand for engineering vehicles. Currently, all domestic engineering vehicles must be imported, which is not only expensive, but also inconvenient to maintain. The Type 59 tank's chassis is extremely durable, and can navigate even complex terrain with ease. Its V2V12 water-cooled engine provides powerful power. It can be modified into a civilian engineering vehicle, which is powerful and much cheaper than imported ones. The hydraulic system, bulldozer, and swing arm of the engineering vehicle are very easy for us at the 077 machinery and military factory to manufacture. Lin Chenran explained in depth the design principles and market prospects of the Type 59 tank modified civilian engineering vehicle. At first, the senior executives at the 077 machinery and military factory thought Lin Chenran was being impulsive, but they were all convinced. Afterwards, the senior executives began to record information about the Type 59 tank in their notebooks. They expressed great confidence in the Type 59 tank modified civilian engineering vehicle. Next, I'll ask everyone to work together to complete the modified Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle. This concerns the future and safety of the 077 machinery and military factory, and also everyone's future. With the powerful help of the efficiency pill, the meticulously modified Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle was successfully designed in less than 5 days. At the same time, Lin Chenran cleverly diluted the efficiency pill into the boiled water, consumed by all employees of the 077 machinery and military factory. This measure not only effectively improved their work efficiency, but also soon, the first modified civilian Type 59 engineering vehicle rolled off the production line at an astonishing speed. Lin Chenran, the efficiency pill is definitely the most coveted item by unscrupulous bosses. Upon hearing that his own modified Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle had rolled off the production line, Lin Chenran anxiously left his office and hurried to the production workshop. "Director Lin, you're finally here." Song Xian greeted him with a beaming smile. "Mr. Song, please just call me Chenran," Lin Chenran said with a smile. Song Xian and Lin Chenran's teacher were old acquaintances, and they had a close relationship. If his teacher knew he had disrespected his elders, the consequences would be unimaginable. He would definitely be punished. Lin Chenran shuddered at the thought. "Chenran." A loud shout came, interrupting Lin Chenran's deep thoughts. "Master Song, I'm sorry, I was just distracted." Then Lin Chenran spoke without hesitation. "Master Song, please take me to the finished product workshop. I'm eager to inspect the Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle that's just rolled off the production line." His tone was firm, his anxiety unconcealed. This Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle was crucial to the survival of the 077 machinery and military factory. The 077 machinery and military factory was facing a severe funding shortage, and the Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle had become their last straw. Only the successful launch of this product could help the 077 machinery and military factory overcome its current crisis. Seeing this, Song Xian understood the urgency of the matter. Without saying a word, he took Lin Chenran to the finished product workshop in a hurry. After entering the workshop, the two saw at a glance two modified Type 59 civilian engineering vehicles parked quietly on one side. A group of focused engineers gathered around, and they were carefully looking at the two engineering vehicles. Lin Chenran took a deep breath and said with determination, "Now that the car has been manufactured, the next step is the key testing link." Then, he decisively gave the order, "Notify the tester immediately and drive the Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle to the test site." Soon, a roar of the engine sounded, and the tester drove the Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle out of the workshop and sped towards the special test site. The atmosphere on the scene was tense and full of expectation, and everyone held their breath. Let's go to the test site too. Chapter 4. Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle rolls off the production line, seeking buyers. Arriving at the testing grounds, the crowd watched as two drivers, operating a modified Type 59 bulldozer and a Type 59 excavator, sped across the test site at lightning speed. No matter how rugged or muddy the road, these modified Type 59 engineering vehicles were a piece of cake. Like two steel behemoths, they effortlessly traversed any challenging terrain, as if it were flat ground. Watching from the sidelines, the faces of the senior executives from the 077 machinery and military factory beamed with excitement and joy, and they collectively cheered. The modified Type 59 engineering vehicles certainly lived up to their expectations. The bulldozer, in particular, was incredibly powerful. It was equipped with a powerful V12 liquid-cooled engine, providing it with a constant stream of power. Compared to comparable imported engineering bulldozers, this modified Type 59 civilian bulldozer was clearly superior. Director Lin, the design and development of our Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle has been a resounding success. Song Xian exclaimed excitedly. He couldn't believe his eyes. He didn't expect Lin Chenran to actually complete this project. He used the Type 59 tank to modify the civilian Type 59 engineering vehicle. Yeah. A satisfied smile appeared on Lin Chenran's face. He nodded slightly in approval. It really worked. He couldn't help but exclaim in admiration, his voice full of surprise and admiration. The Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle designed, developed, and produced by the 077 machinery and military factory in front of him showed unimaginably powerful performance. Not only did it exceed expectations in various technical indicators, it was even better than the Type 59 engineering vehicle produced in another world. This gave Lin Chenran a deeper understanding of the strength of the 077 machinery and military factory. He secretly exclaimed, "It's amazing." Lin Chenran was extremely proud of this achievement. After all, the 077 machinery and military factory carried out various meticulous fine-tuning based on the Type 59 tank. In addition, it is worth mentioning the hydraulic system used by the 077 machinery and military factory. This system is far ahead of other current products in the industry, both in terms of design and practical application. It not only offers exceptional performance and high stability, but is also adaptable to a variety of complex and harsh working environments. It's safe to say that the 077 machinery arsenal's unique and efficient hydraulic system is at the forefront of its time, far ahead of its competitors. Now they need to find a buyer for their Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle. After returning to the office from the testing site, Lin Chenran and his team began discussing how to promote their Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle. This is no longer the era of good wine needs no bush. It's time to be proactive. Lin Chenran arrived at the office and poured Song Zian a cup of hot tea. "Mr. Song, please sit down," Lin Chenran said calmly. "Chenran, although our modified Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle is very successful, we currently have no customers. We can't sell it." Song Zian spoke calmly, but a hint of worry lingered within him. No matter how good a product is, it's useless if it can't be sold. "Mr. Song, please rest assured. I found a suitable sales location," Lin Chenran said confidently. "Tomorrow, I'll personally lead several of our best employees, driving our large truck, and load to Type 59 civilian engineering vehicles to expand our business." Lin Chenran's eyes were filled with determination. Seeing Lin Chenran's confident expression, Song Zian remained silent. If Lin Chenran could successfully sell these products, it would be a great opportunity for the 077 machinery and military factory. It would also be a good thing for Lin Chenran, further solidifying his position as the factory director. If the sales target was ultimately not met, Song Zian would find a way to use his personal connections to resolve the issue. The main reason was that the Type 59 civilian engineering vehicles modified by the 077 machinery and military factory were truly outstanding. Not only did their performance surpass even imported civilian engineering vehicles, but they were also significantly cheaper. The performance was exceptional, and the price was very affordable. So why wouldn't Song Zian promote them? Now Lin Chenran is confident that he can successfully sell the Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle modified by his own factory. Song Zian of course chose to trust his own factory director. You can't always undermine the prestige of a young factory director. "I understand. I will pay more attention to and pay attention to various affairs of the factory," Song Zian responded in a firm tone. Since Lin Chenran needs to go out to handle order business, Song Zian must take on the responsibility of managing the 077 machinery and military factory to reduce Lin Chenran's burden. "Mr. Song, thank you so much. With you at the 077 machinery and military factory, I feel much more at ease." When Lin Chenran heard this, a very bright smile bloomed on his face. In fact, the reason why he invited Song Zian to come for negotiation was that he hoped that the other party could assist in dealing with many matters of the 077 machinery and military factory. Lin Chenran had just come to the 077 machinery and military factory and there were no senior executives and subordinates in the factory that he could trust. So now he can only rely on Song Zian. Song Zian had a close friendship with his teacher, and he was also a highly respected elder at the 077 machinery and arsenal. With him around, they could suppress the factory's demons and evildoers. "Don't be so polite, it's just a piece of cake." Song Zian waved his hand dismissively, dismissing the matter as trivial and not worth worrying about. His expression remained calm and composed. Then, the next morning, as sunlight streamed down the landscape, Lin Chenran, leading several employees from the 077 machinery and arsenal, set out on a sales tour into spacious trucks. Their primary destination, the local government. The country was currently at a critical juncture of reform and opening up. The tide of time was surging forward, and infrastructure development was booming. Amid this boom, government engineering teams faced enormous demand, especially for civilian construction vehicles. Due to the current limitations of domestic industrial technology, domestically produced construction vehicles sufficient for civilian use were currently unavailable. Importing such vehicles from abroad was prohibitively expensive, making them prohibitively expensive. Look, the visionary Lin Chenran keenly captured this market gap and set his sights firmly on this field. After a 2-hour drive, Lin Chenran and his group finally arrived at their destination. Because Lin Chenran had already made an appointment with the official staff in advance, when they just stepped into the official office area, someone came to greet them immediately. "Director Lin, welcome." A young male secretary came forward quickly, with a warm smile on his face, and took the initiative to greet Lin Chenran. "Hello, Secretary Huang. The weather is so hot. In fact, you really don't have to come out to greet me. I'm very familiar with this place, and will not have trouble finding Mr. Liang's office," Lin Chenran said jokingly with a slight smile on his face. Secretary Huang is Mr. Liang's secretary, mainly responsible for handling Mr. Liang's daily affairs. He smiled and explained, "You are our VIP guest. The leader specifically instructed me to wait for your visit here. Please come this way." Secretary Huang led the way for Lin Chenran. I beg Godfathers to read it. Collect it. Chapter 5, Selling the Type 59 Civilian Engineering Vehicle to the Officials. Secretary Huang led Lin Chenran to Mr. Liang's office. Secretary Huang then gently knocked on the door of Mr. Liang's office. Knock knock knock. A series of knocks rang out. "Come in." A strong voice came from the office. Secretary Huang gently pushed open the door of the office and greeted, "Mr. Liang, Director Lin is here." Upon hearing this, Mr. Liang stopped his work, stood up and walked towards Lin Chenran, smiling. "Little Lin, long time no see." "Mr. Liang, long time no see. How are you?" Lin Chenran stepped forward to greet him with a smile. Secretary Huang left the scene very tactfully. It turned out that Lin Chenran's grandfather, Mr. Lin, and Mr. Liang were close comrades in arms. Mr. Liang was very brave in combat and was often injured. Now, he has retired directly from the Yan State military. The superiors arranged for Mr. Liang to work in an official department. "It's okay. I have something to do. I'm fine. Maybe even better than old man Lin." Mr. Liang was still joking with Lin Chenran. "Come, sit here." Mr. Liang enthusiastically pulled Lin Chenran to sit on the sofa. Secretary Huang thoughtfully served the two of them 2 cups of hot tea, and then left again. Mr. Liang greeted, "This is a special tea. You can't drink it outside." After a simple greeting, Lin Chenran went straight to the point and said, "Mr. Liang, our 077 mechanical military factory has designed and developed 2 civilian engineering vehicles. It is very in line with market demand, you see." Lin Chenran did not continue. "Smart people will know it at once. You kid, come here to ask for money?" Mr. Liang pointed at Lin Chenran and cursed lightly. "That's right." Lin Chenran nodded in agreement. "You know that buying imported civilian engineering vehicles is incredibly expensive, and once they break down and require repair, it's a real headache." He paused, then continued, "The modified Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle, independently designed, developed, and produced by our 077 machinery and military factory, performs significantly better than imported vehicles. It excels in terms of load carrying capacity, passability, and reliability. Most importantly, our Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle is very affordable, offering an exceptional value for money." Lin Chenran's tone was filled with confidence and pride. "Oh." Upon hearing this, Elder Liang's expression vanished, replaced by a look of intense interest. Imported civilian engineering vehicles were incredibly expensive, hindering the government's ability to purchase them in large quantities. The high price tag had previously deterred the government from purchasing them, despite insufficient funds. Now, Lin Chenran had revealed that their 077 machinery and military factory was capable of designing, developing, and producing even more affordable civilian engineering vehicles. How could such news not excite Elder Liang? But he still started to scold. "You little brat, you really don't come here for no reason. You look just like your grandfather." Lin Chenran was scolded to death, but he didn't dare to refute a word. He could only scratch his head and put on an awkward but polite smile. Lin Chenran put on a sincere and thoughtful look and said, "Mr. Liang, the government is also going to purchase a batch of civilian engineering vehicles. The Type 59 civilian engineering vehicles independently developed and designed by our 077 machinery and military factory are top-notch in both performance and quality. Compared to those imported products, they are just as good, and our prices are more affordable. The most important thing is that when you buy civilian engineering vehicles produced by our 077 machinery and military factory, you don't have to use up your precious foreign exchange reserves. Also, as a local military industrial enterprise, our 077 machinery and military factory has very strict quality control for its products, and our after-sales service is also very good, providing maintenance services anytime and anywhere. Lin Chenran directly pointed out the advantages of the Type 59 civilian engineering vehicles manufactured by his own 077 machinery and military factory compared to imported engineering vehicles. Little Lin, there's no point in talking big in front of me. Do you have the real thing? Although Mr. Liang was a little moved, he still wanted to see the real thing in person. There are too many cases of inferior products being sold as good ones and goods not matching the specifications in the market now. He couldn't feel at ease unless he saw it with his own eyes. Hearing Elder Liang's question, Lin Chenran immediately stood up with a confident smile on his face. Elder Liang, I've been waiting for you to say this. The Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle independently designed and developed by our 077 machinery and military factory has been ready and can be tested at any time. Then what are you waiting for? Let's go. Elder Liang was also a straightforward person. He stood up without hesitation and gestured for Lin Chenran to lead the way. He wanted to go and inspect the Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle produced by the 077 machinery and military factory. Not long after, everyone finally arrived at the official compound. From a distance, they saw two Type 59 civilian engineering vehicles quietly parked on a track. This, Elder Liang couldn't help but frown and began to carefully examine the two vehicles. His eyes were full of confusion and hesitation. Ziolinzi, this is a Type 59. Elder Liang suddenly said, with a hint of uncertainty in his voice. As a veteran military leader and veteran, Elder Liang could tell at a glance that the Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle designed and developed by the 077 machinery and military factory was a modified Type 59 tank. That's right. Our 077 machinery and military factory has magically modified the Type 59 tank into two new civilian engineering vehicles, Lin Chenran admitted openly. Old Liang, you know that the current Type 59 tank is countless generations behind tanks from other countries, and the military has also considered retiring the Type 59 tank, but due to insufficient military funds, they can only deploy the Type 69 tank on a small scale. The Type 59 tank is still our Army's main battle tank, but eventually, the Type 59 tank will definitely be eliminated. So, our 077 machinery and military factory has directly recycled the Type 59 tank and magically modified it to create the Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle, Lin Chenran said openly. As a veteran military figure, Elder Liang was of course closely monitoring the military's developments. Indeed, the current main battle tank in China is still the Type 59, and it's in widespread use. However, when it comes to subsequent upgrades, the Type 59 has proven itself to be quite vulnerable. Its performance hasn't kept up, and when it comes to tank battles with enemy forces, the Type 59 is the undisputed loser. Not only is its artillery outdated, but its armor is also severely lacking. And now, the 077 machinery and military factory has gone so far as to modify the Type 59 into a civilian engineering vehicle. If these vehicles are sold in large quantities, it would be fantastic news for the military. It would help them dispose of their already large inventory of Type 59 tanks, and would also free up funds for upgrading their main battle tanks. Ziolinzi, if the Type 59 civilian engineering vehicles modified by your 077 machinery and military factory perform well, we can purchase a batch, said Elder Liang, making the final decision. Chapter 6, whether it's a mule or a horse, take it out for a walk. This matter is beneficial to both the military and the government. Mr. Liang is happy to do it. Mr. Liang, I'm so grateful to you. The decision you made will save more than 1,000 employees of our 077 machinery and military factory. Lin Chenran was so excited that he thanked him repeatedly and put his hands together to express his sincere gratitude to Mr. Liang. Hey, don't thank me yet. If the Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle modified by your 077 machinery and military factory cannot meet our needs, then we will refuse to purchase it." Mr. Liang waved his hand calmly and said. So, Mr. Liang directly asked Lin Chenran to show his true ability to prove it. "Let's take a walk to see if it is a mule or a horse." If the Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle of the 077 machinery and military factory is really as powerful as Lin Chenran boasted, then the government will consider purchasing a batch of Type 59 civilian engineering vehicles to meet actual needs. "Okay, I remember there are some areas under construction near the official agencies," Lin Chenran asked calmly. "Yes, there's a construction site nearby that's currently facing a shortage of civilian construction vehicles, and progress has come to a standstill," said Elder Liang in a similarly calm tone. "That would be an ideal testing location," Lin Chenran replied thoughtfully. Then, he led the group aboard a large truck and headed towards the site, where work was about to be suspended. It wasn't long before they arrived at their destination, a site facing a halt due to a lack of civilian construction vehicles. The site was deserted, with piles of construction materials heaped high. Officials quickly contacted the site manager and began discussing the specific testing plan and related matters. After some communication, both sides reached a consensus and decided to immediately begin field testing of the Type 59 civilian construction vehicle. Lin Chenran and his team then slowly drove the truck into the construction site. Under Lin Chenran's direction, the staff of the 077 machinery arsenal methodically unloaded the Type 59 civilian bulldozer, meticulously designed and developed by the factory. To fully demonstrate the exceptional performance of the Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle designed and developed by the 077 machinery and military factory, Lin Chenran specifically instructed Elder Liang to arrange for 2 imported civilian engineering vehicles to be compared with his own Type 59. When Elder Liang heard of Lin Chenran's idea, he was also quite surprised. You can say foreign vehicles are bad, but you can't call them bad. You have to admit that during this period, foreign civilian engineering vehicles performed exceptionally well. Meanwhile, domestically, the relevant technology was still quite weak, making it difficult to produce civilian engineering vehicles with such superior performance. Xiaolinzi, are you so confident in the Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle designed, developed, and produced by your 077 machinery and military factory? Elder Liang said slowly. Lin Chenran's face lit up with a brilliant smile. Of course. If even I don't have confidence in this meticulously crafted Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle, how can I have the nerve to recommend it to you? Elder Liang nodded slightly in agreement. Practice is the only criterion for testing truth. To tell the difference between a mule and a horse, take it out for a walk. Now, please open your eyes and witness the spectacular performance of our Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle from the 077 machinery and military factory. His eyes revealed determination and confidence. Under Lin Chenran's instructions, the workers at the 077 machinery and military factory expertly started up their homegrown Type 59 civilian engineering vehicles. With the roar of their engines, the 2 steel behemoths roared across the vast construction site. Meanwhile, 2 imported civilian engineering vehicles on the other side also started up, but soon found themselves completely outmatched. The Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle from the 077 machinery and military factory was like a wild horse, leaping ahead of them with astonishing speed and unparalleled momentum. Whether it was a rugged mountain road, a muddy quagmire, or a steep slope, the Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle could handle it with ease, moving unhindered as if it were flat ground. Its powerful power and exceptional performance were awe-inspiring. In comparison, the 2 imported civilian engineering vehicles pale in comparison. They struggled to navigate complex road conditions, often becoming trapped and unable to extricate themselves. Compared to the remarkable performance of the Type 59 civilian engineering vehicles from the 077 machinery and military factory, they were nothing but clowns, completely unmatched. This, Elder Liang's face, was filled with astonishment, clearly startled by the sight of the 2 Type 59 civilian engineering vehicles before him. Elder Liang, there's no need to be surprised. We at the 077 machinery and military factory haven't made any modifications to the powertrain of the Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle. It's still equipped with that powerful V12 water-cooled diesel engine. This engine is incredibly powerful, and its power is definitely far greater than those imported civilian engineering vehicles, Lin Chenran explained calmly, but a hint of pride lingered in his eyes. The V12 water-cooled diesel engine, like a strong beating heart, continuously pumped out immense power. Indeed, comparing a tank engine to a civilian engineering vehicle engine is a sheer dimensionality reduction attack. It's sheer bullying. But what can be done? The 077 machinery and military factory is so arrogant. They've simply converted the Type 59 tank into a civilian engineering vehicle, without the need to carry a large amount of ammunition and the incredibly cumbersome tank turret. The Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle's speed is further increased. Furthermore, its water-cooled V12 engine provides even greater thrust, significantly improving earth-moving efficiency. This Type 59 civilian engineering excavator utilizes the latest hydraulic system independently developed by our 077 machinery and military factory, Lin Chenran proudly stated. It provides the Type 59 with even greater power, stability, and reliability, ensuring stable operation in a variety of challenging working conditions. This hydraulic system is world-leading, he said with a confident smile. The official representative standing by nodded in approval and appreciation. They were clearly enthusiastic about the Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle on display at the 077 machinery and military factory. The Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle stood out for its affordable price, superior performance, and comprehensive after-sales service, earning it the favor of officials and officials. After enjoying a fascinating demonstration of the Type 59, Mr. Liang made his decision without hesitation. Xiolinzi, your Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle performs exceptionally well and meets our procurement requirements. Let's go back and discuss further cooperation. Chapter 7 3 million orders, no big deal. Upon hearing this, Lin Chenran was overcome with excitement, unable to calm down. His heart, which had been pounding for so long, finally settled. Collaboration with the government was merely a small snack. The real anticipation lay in the endless stream of orders, the most important main course. As workers gradually returned from the construction site, intense negotiations officially began. It was common knowledge that the current infrastructure construction task was extremely urgent, but the exorbitant prices of imported construction vehicles were severely impacting the progress of various projects. The officials in Linjiang province, led by Elder Liang, saw this and were deeply concerned. The Type 59 civilian construction vehicle, now released by the 077 machinery and military factory, perfectly met their needs. Not only was its price 1/3 lower than imported counterparts, but more importantly, it didn't require the use of precious foreign exchange. Remember, foreign exchange was extremely valuable back then. Using foreign exchange to purchase imported equipment was a daunting task. Reports had to be submitted to higher authorities and the process involved numerous approvals. Now, the Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle produced by the 077 machinery and military factory doesn't require foreign exchange. This is great news for Linjiang province. This allows the provincial leaders to negotiate and purchase directly with the 077 machinery and military factory, eliminating many cumbersome procedures. The meeting wasn't tense or heated. Instead, the atmosphere was harmonious, filled with laughter and conversation. Of course, when it came time to bargain, the Linjiang provincial leaders were unyielding. After all, ask for a high price, pay back the low price. After considerable bargaining, the two sides finally reached a successful cooperation agreement. Linjiang province placed an order for 3 million yuan on the spot with the 077 machinery and military factory. They also promised Lin Chenran that, if the Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle performed well in subsequent operations, they would continue to purchase more. After the contract was signed, the staff of the 077 machinery and military factory were electrified, cheering excitedly, their faces beaming with uncontrollable joy. They applauded vigorously, the applause resounding. "It's back!" someone shouted. 077 mechanical arsenal is finally alive. Another person shouted. At this time, Lin Chenran was in sharp contrast to the others. His face was unusually calm. Then Lin Chenran walked over to Mr. Liang and thanked him sincerely. "Mr. Liang, Thank you very much for saving our 077 mechanical arsenal. However, Mr. Liang just smiled and waved his hand, and responded, your 077 mechanical arsenal saved itself with its own strength. If the Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle you designed and developed is not good enough, we will not consider purchasing it. But I also want to thank the leaders of Linjiang province for their recognition of our Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle. Don't worry, we will do our best to ensure the production speed of the order, while ensuring the quality. Lin Chenran then joked, if there are any maintenance problems in the future, just call our 077 mechanical arsenal, and we will immediately dispatch engineers to provide door-to-door services. No matter it is a storm, no matter it is day or night, as long as you have a need, our 077 mechanical arsenal engineers will rush to the scene, as soon as possible. Lin Chenran continued with a smile. Upon hearing this, everyone in the conference room erupted in laughter. They had never experienced this kind of VIP service before. In the past, when purchasing imported civilian engineering vehicles, if a problem arose, and they contacted after-sales service, they were always dragging their feet. Not only were the issues resolved slowly, but they also demanded exorbitant repair fees. The comprehensive after-sales service now, provided by the 077 Machinery and Military Factory, was a novelty for the leaders of Linjiang province. In terms of attitude, the 077 Machinery and Military Factory far surpassed those foreign civilian engineering vehicle companies, leaving them far behind. Afterwards, Lin Chenran led the staff of the 077 Machinery and Military Factory, confidently leaving the official headquarters of Linjiang province with the heavy 3 million yuan order in their arms. Not long after, they arrived at the 077 Machinery and Military Factory. As soon as they entered the factory, cheers surged like a tide, resounding throughout the entire facility. It turned out that the news of the 3 million yuan order had already spread throughout the factory. Upon learning that their Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle had received a 3 million yuan order from Linjiang province, the workers were overjoyed. All the repression and anguish they'd endured for days was released. They had been under immense pressure for days, but now, at last, they saw a glimmer of hope. This 3 million yuan order signified that the 077 Machinery and Military Factory had successfully overcome its current difficulties. It also brought peace of mind to the employees. Wages would be paid on time, and their livelihoods would be guaranteed. Most importantly, the military manufacturing qualification certificate, crucial to the factory's future, would not be revoked by higher-ups. Returning to the 077 Machinery and Military Factory, Lin Chenran immediately organized a high-level meeting. As the senior leaders filed into the conference room, the meeting officially began. We've successfully secured a 3 million yuan order for the Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle we developed and manufactured. Lin Chenran smiled, his tone remarkably calm. Though he appeared calm, the subtle curl of his lips betrayed his joy. This good news was undoubtedly a powerful shot in the arm for the entire factory. Lin Chenran knew full well that the next step was equally crucial, and that no negligence was warranted. After receiving Lin Chenran's affirmation, the senior executives of the 077 Machinery and Military Factory rose and applauded. The applause was thunderous, echoing throughout the conference room. 3 minutes later, Lin Chenran waved his hand, and the applause in the conference room instantly died down. The senior executives also sat down. Although we have received a 3 million order, it's just an appetizer. As our 077 Machinery and Military Factory's Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle becomes more popular with consumers, the orders will exceed our expectations. Lin Chenran quietly reminded the senior executives of the 077 Machinery and Military Factory present. This was only a small order. As the Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle's reputation grew, sales would see a qualitative leap. Right. That's right. It's just a small order now, the senior executives of the 077 Machinery and Military Factory echoed. Song Xian, standing by, expressed his concerns. Director Lin, our factory only has so many Type 59 tanks. After completing the order for Linjiang province, there will be very few left. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel. Mundo fanfic novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 8, Killing 3 Birds with 1 Stone. Song Ziyan's words made Lin Chenran fall into deep thought. It is true that the 077 machinery and military factory does not have many Type 59 tanks. If the Type 59 tanks are produced again, it will not be cost effective for the 077 machinery and military factory. Lin Chenran had already thought of a solution to the problem that the 077 machinery and military factory did not have any extra Type 59 tanks. Buy back the Type 59 tanks in the hands of the military at a very low price. Of course, this requires a strong background. Lin Chenran happened to have a strong background. Lin Chenran's grandfather was still working in the military of Yan State, and his status was not low. There are also Type 59 tanks that have been modified into Type 59 civilian engineering vehicles. For the military, this is only beneficial and not harmful. Even if Lin Chenran does not have a strong background, as long as he submits the report, the military will actively support Lin Chenran and resell the outdated and old Type 59 tanks in their hands to the other party at a very low price. There is no other way. The military also wants to upgrade and optimize the tanks in its hands. If it is wartime, using tanks from the 1950s to challenge modern tanks of other countries is undoubtedly playing with the lives of soldiers. No matter how brave the soldiers of Yan country are, and how strong their combat capabilities are, they still seem very small in the face of absolute power. Those who lag behind will be beaten. This is a famous saying passed down by our ancestors. Mr. Song, I will discuss cooperation with the military on the Type 59 tank, Lin Chenran said very confidently. Song Ziyan understood instantly. It turned out that he was worrying for nothing. He knew Lin Chenran's background. Of course, Song Ziyan could also contact the military. After all, he also had a place in the military industry of Yan country. Since the raw materials are almost certain to come, now all we have to do is to ensure that the production workshops of the 077 machinery military factory can continuously produce Type 59 civilian engineering vehicles. Director Lin, I have another question here. The person who spoke was a little uneasy, as if he was worried that he would say something wrong. At Lin Chenran's subtle gesture, he continued, regarding the after-sales maintenance issues currently facing our factory. Although the factory already has a small number of engineers who can provide after-sales service support. But as Director Lin said, the sales of the Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle will be very hot in the future. With the current number of after-sales engineers in our 077 mechanical military factory, I'm afraid it will be difficult to cope with the large number of maintenance needs. Lin Chenran felt that the senior executive was right when he heard this. Mr. Lee, you're absolutely right. We really need to be proactive. We need to prepare a large number of exceptional after-sales maintenance engineers for the Type 59 civilian engineering vehicles. Otherwise, it will be too late to prepare after-sales maintenance engineers after the Type 59 civilian engineering vehicles have sold in large quantities. Lin Chenran humbly approached Li Shuai for advice. Then what do you think we should do? Li Shuai fell into deep thought. After a moment's reflection, he slowly spoke, unpacking his thoughts. Well, I think we could try to find suitable candidates among retired tank soldiers. After all, besides those of us who have a deep understanding of the Type 59 tank, tank soldiers are the most familiar with it. They've been with the Type 59 tanks day and night, and they are responsible for most of the vehicle maintenance. Therefore, Li Shuai replied calmly, this would undoubtedly benefit the 077 machinery arsenal. The same is true for the military. More importantly, it would provide ideal employment opportunities for retired tank soldiers. This would kill 3 birds with 1 stone. Everyone benefits. At the old man's command, Yan State launched an unprecedented disarmament campaign, reducing its military by over 1 million men. The 077 machinery and military factory can now provide excellent jobs for some retired tank soldiers, alleviating the pressure on the military. The Yan State military is absolutely happy to accept this. With the continued strong sales of the Type 59 civilian engineering vehicles produced by the 077 machinery and military factory, the team of after-sales maintenance engineers will inevitably grow, and the need for even more retired tank soldiers will increase. Of course, if one doesn't choose to join the 077 machinery and military factory as an after-sales maintenance engineer, opening one's own vehicle repair shop is also a good option. Mr. Lee, that's a really good suggestion. We could indeed consider those retired tank soldiers, Lin Chenran said softly with a slight smile. These retired tank soldiers are very experienced and skilled. With a little training, they could become excellent after-sales maintenance engineers for the Type 59 civilian engineering vehicles. His eyes were filled with anticipation and excitement. But, Li Shuai hesitated. There were also difficulties involved, which Lin Chenran needed to resolve. Mr. Lee, please rest assured. After the meeting, I will report the specific details to my superiors, Lin Chenran replied calmly and firmly. His face was expressionless, as if everything was under control. This matter presented no difficulty to him. For the Yan state military, this was a perfect opportunity with no disadvantages. They had no reason to refuse. After hearing this, Li Shuai pondered it and concluded that this was indeed the case. His worries instantly dissipated, and he felt relieved. The meeting lasted 2 hours. It not only discussed the 3 million yuan order received by their 077 machinery and military factory from Linjiang province, but also discussed recruiting retired tank soldiers as after-sales maintenance engineers for the Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle. With the meeting successfully concluded, the senior executives of the 077 machinery and military factory left the meeting room with joyful smiles on their faces and brisk steps. The tremendous success of the Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle had lifted the heavy burden from everyone's hearts, and they felt relieved. After Lin Chenran and Song Xian came out of the conference room, they returned to the factory director's office together. Entering the office, Lin Chenran personally poured a cup of steaming hot tea for Song Xian. He gently placed the cup in front of Song Xian, his eyes full of respect and gratitude. Mr. Song, during the time I was away from the 077 mechanical arsenal, you have worked so hard for the factory. Lin Chenran's voice was low and sincere. Song Xian smiled slightly, waved his hand and said, "This is what I should do. You are even harder, running orders outside. Without your hard work, how could the Linjiang provincial government give our factory an order for 3 million Type 59 civilian engineering vehicles?" Song Xian picked up the teacup and took a sip, then slowly put it down. Everyone has worked hard. Lin Chenran and Song Xian smiled at each other. Suddenly, bursts of laughter rang out in the office. Godfathers, please collect plus follow up. Chapter 9 Win-Win Cooperation. Hello, I'm good. Everyone is good. After Song Xian left the factory director's office, Lin Chenran was writing a report summary at the table. Ring, ring, ring. Suddenly, a rapid phone call broke the silence in the office. Lin Chenran stopped writing, then reached out and picked up the phone on the table and gently pressed the answer button. Hello, who is this? He asked enthusiastically. Ziolenzi, you can't even recognize my voice. A loud voice like a bell came from the other end of the phone. Lin Chenran immediately recognized who the other party was, Mr. Wei from the equipment department of the Yan Kingdom Army. Mr. Wei, it turns out to be you. I'm so sorry. Lin Chenran apologized quickly, thinking to himself, Mr. Wei called in person. It must be about the Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle. It is very likely that Mr. Liang has informed the military and stated that the 077 machinery military factory has the ability to convert the Type 59 into a civilian engineering vehicle. It's like a cat smelling fish. Don't be embarrassed. I didn't interrupt your work, did I? Elder Wei said calmly and gently. Then, without beating around the bush, he said directly, Old Liang told us that your 077 machinery and military factory has converted Type 59 tanks into civilian engineering vehicles. And I also know that your factory has a limited number of Type 59 tanks, and it wouldn't be cost effective to put them back into production. Upon hearing this, Lin Chenran's smile froze, a hint of bitterness appearing on his face. Little Lin, our military has a large number of Type 59 tanks. We can cooperate, Elder Wei said calmly, with an air of I'm doing this for your own good. Elder Wei continued, as for the Type 59 civilian engineering vehicles, our military must have a share. Then he played the emotional card again. You know, with the massive cuts in military spending, we are eager to split the money into dozens of parts. Now that the Type 59 tank can be converted into a civilian engineering vehicle, we can also upgrade it. The most important thing is that our cooperation is a win-win situation. Although Lin Chenran had to report to his superiors, he was now directly blocked at the door. There is a difference between the two. If you report yourself, you can take more initiative. Of course, we can talk about it now. Mr. Welly, cooperation is possible. We also want to help the military update and iterate existing tanks. There are two ways of cooperation, Lin Chenran said lightly. Mr. Welly wanted to hear the details. Lin Chenran continued, the first way of cooperation is that our 077 mechanical military factory purchases Type 59 tanks from the military at a recycling price. As for the price, it will definitely be a bargain. After all, some Type 59 tanks have been in service for more than 20 years. As for the settlement of the recycling costs of the Type 59, our initial plan is to settle the payment once a year. I believe you also understand the difficulties our 077 mechanical military factory is facing now. We are indeed a bit tight on money. Lin Chenran aptly expressed his difficulties. However, Elder Wei interrupted without hesitation. A 1-year settlement period is too long. Absolutely not. 3-month settlement is the bottom line of our military. Upon hearing this, Lin Chenran's face immediately showed difficulty. 3-month settlement will make the working capital of our 077 mechanical armament factory extremely tight. You don't want our 077 mechanical armament factory to go bankrupt directly. Lin Chenran, I can't do it. After thinking for a moment, Elder Wei changed his tone. Then let's compromise. 4-month settlement should be fine, right? You should know that our military also needs sufficient funds to upgrade tank equipment. Then settle every 4 months. Lin Chenran also agreed. Of course, this also depends on whether our 077 mechanical armament factory's account is tight. Lin Chenran originally planned to settle once a year. In this way, the financial pressure faced by the 077 mechanical armament factory will be much less. The military will definitely not agree to settle once a year. After all, they are also facing a serious shortage of funds. What about another way of cooperation? Old Wei pondered in his heart. He was indeed tempted by the first cooperation plan mentioned by Lin Chenran just now. But years of experience told him that the second cooperation might be more beneficial to the Yan country's military. So he suppressed his inner excitement and asked calmly, what about the second way of cooperation? Lin Chenran seemed to have been prepared and answered calmly, the second way of cooperation is for the military to provide Type 59 tanks, and our 077 mechanical military factory is responsible for modifying them into Type 59 civilian engineering vehicles. The profits from the sale of Type 59 civilian engineering vehicles will be distributed in a ratio of 7-3, with our side taking 70% and your side taking 30%. When Old Wei heard this, he was immediately furious. He couldn't believe his ears, his eyes widening as he roared, what? Did I hear correctly? Our military only takes 30%, and you, the 077 mechanical arsenal, want 70%? Lin Chenran, are you too arrogant? Didn't old Lin teach you well enough? Elder Wen's voice was deafening, and his powerful authority came through the phone line, making Lin Chenran feel oppressive. Lin Chenran was frightened by Elder Wen's sudden roar. He couldn't help but swallow and tried to explain. Elder Wei, what's the price? He demanded a high price, but he didn't pay it back. Our military must take 70%, and you, the 077 mechanical arsenal, can only take 30% at most. Elder Wen's tone was firm. Upon hearing this, Lin Chenran's brows immediately furrowed, and the invisible pressure that had surrounded him seemed to dissipate instantly. Lin Chenran was a man who valued money over his life. Now, every bit of profit was related to the future of the 077 mechanical arsenal. How is that possible? Lin Chenran's voice was low, but it carried an undeniable conviction. If our 077 machinery arsenal can only get 30% of the profits, it won't be long before our factory faces bankruptcy again. Mr. Wei, it's not just our country that has outdated tanks. The Russians next door have them too. If I went to Russia, I could buy back a batch of tanks at scrap prices and modify them. If it weren't for helping the military clean up the Type 59, I wouldn't. Lin Chenran said what he shouldn't have said. Indeed, if you went to Russia, you could get a tank for a few $100s, and maybe even buy 5 get 1 free. The Russians were eager for Lin Chenran to come and help clean up their outdated tanks, ready for scrapping. Furthermore, by 1984, Russia's economy was in a deep recession, impacting every industry. All Lin Chenran had to do was bring in a batch of light industrial products, and he'd surely be able to trade them for a batch of outdated tanks ready for scrapping. After hearing this, Wei Lao fell into deep thought. Indeed, the Type 59 tank is not the only one produced by the 077 machinery arsenal. Chapter 10. Collaboration with the military. Lin Chenran continued, I will make the biggest concession. Our 077 machinery military factory will take 60%, and the military will take 40%. The modified Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle produced by the 077 machinery military factory only needs the chassis of the Type 59 tank. The turret is not needed. Simply put, the power part of the Type 59 is needed, and the other weapon parts will still be returned to the military of the Yan state. After Lin Chenran's patient explanation, Mr. Wei finally gave in. If the 077 machinery military factory only needs the chassis of the Type 59 tank, then the 40% to 60% split is indeed a big bargain for the military. If Mr. Wei still insists that the military takes 4%, this may really force Lin Chenran to go to the bear country to pull back a bunch of cheap scrap tanks. After the cooperation between the two sides, Lin Chenran will not go to the bear country to pick up a bunch of tanks that are about to be scrapped. Please, why are you so naive? The Yan state has a vast market for civilian engineering vehicles, and the Type 59 tanks in the hands of the Yan state military may not be able to meet the demand. Not to mention, there is a much broader market for civilian engineering vehicles abroad. Lin Chenran, I'm going to the bear country, and even Jesus can't stop me, I said it. 46 points is 46 points. Old Wei gritted his teeth and finally agreed. Old Wei, the second type of cooperation is this model. Later, our 077 mechanical military factory will still need the support of the military. After hearing Old Wei's agreement, Lin Chenran's heart finally fell back into his stomach. He secretly breathed a sigh of relief and made his request while the iron was hot. Ziolinzi, tell me, as long as the request is not too excessive, everything can be discussed. After hearing this, Old Wei already had an idea in his mind, but still let Lin Chenran state his request first. I need an import and export trade license. Our Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle will not only dominate the domestic market, I also want to push it to the international stage. Ziolinzi, ha 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 ha. Old Wei laughed and said, you really have other intentions. I'm afraid you are not thinking about the exported Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle, but the tanks that are about to be scrapped by the Russian bear country. Old Wei smiled slightly, as if he had seen through his inner thoughts. Lin Chenran showed a trace of embarrassment on his face when he heard what Old Wei said, but he quickly regained his composure and said with a smile, Old Wei, you are really a discerning person. I have another idea. The Russian bear country's economy is in trouble now, and the living standards of their people are much worse than before. I want to take advantage of this time to become a smuggler, buy their tanks that are about to be scrapped, and then resell them. This will not only bring us a considerable income for our 077 mechanical arsenal. Lin Chenran became more and more excited as he spoke, with a confident light in his eyes. If we can successfully export the Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle overseas this time and bypass certain departments, the profit will be considerable. Lin Chenran continued. If the 077 mechanical military factory is good, it means that the Yan state military is good. By exporting the Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle overseas, the Yan state military will also gain some benefits. At this time, you must be frank and generously admit your own ideas in order to get the support and understanding of Mr. Wei. If you play tricks and shrewd tricks in front of Mr. Wei, when you return to the Lin family, Mr. Lin will definitely give Lin Chenran a rich meal of love and care. What's more important is that Mr. Wei and Mr. Lin are the closest comrades in arms. You are honest and have been working hard to gain benefits for the 077 mechanical military factory. Regarding the import and export trade license certificate you need, I will discuss it with other senior executives after I go back and give you a reply later. Although Mr. Wei did not agree on the spot, Lin Chenran was basically certain, based on his attitude, that he would agree to Lin Chenran's request. Besides, Lin Chenran was interrupted by Elder Wei before he could finish his words. Elder Wei said, "You'd better not push your luck." Just as Elder Wei was about to hang up, Lin Chenran called out, "Hey, Elder Wei, please hold on. What I'm about to say will be of great benefit to the military. Go ahead." Then Lin Chenran told Elder Wei about his company's plan to recruit a group of retired tank soldiers to serve as maintenance engineers for the Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle. That's certainly good for the military. It'll help us handle a lot of retired tank soldiers. Elder Wei smiled brightly upon hearing this. This was another piece of good news. While the proportion of retired tank soldiers recruited by the 077 machinery and military factory was relatively small, it would at least help the Yan state military find jobs for some of their veterans. Furthermore, even if these retired tank soldiers didn't all stay at the 077 machinery and military factory as maintenance engineers for the Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle, they could still find new career paths. After training, they could go out and work independently as maintenance engineers. With the rapid economic development of Yan country, the demand for automobiles and engineering vehicles is increasing. Today's automobile maintenance engineers also have a job that can support a family. Then Lin Chenran and the other person discussed the matter of retired tank soldiers. After discussing for more than 10 minutes, Old Wei praised with emotion, "The Lin family has produced another talented person. I'm a little envious of Old Lin." Then, without waiting for Lin Chenran to quibble, he hung up the phone. Very decisive. So, after chatting with Lin Chenran, Old Wei convened a military discussion meeting. Discuss the cooperation matters about the Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle mentioned by Lin Chenran. See which cooperation method to choose. The senior military officials also debated about this. The two cooperation methods have their own advantages, but in the end it depends on the sales volume of the Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle of the 077 machinery military factory. If, as Lin Chenran said, the Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle will sell well in China and will also be exported abroad, then choosing the second method will maximize the interests of the military. As for Lin Chenran's request for an import and export trade license, it was not a big deal for the Yan country military. It was a simple matter. In less than a day, Wei Laodan called the director's office of the 077 mechanical arsenal again. The Yan country military agreed to Lin Chenran's request and chose a second form of cooperation. It was also stated that the first batch of Type 59 tanks will arrive at the 077 mechanical arsenal within 3 days, and asked Lin Chenran to prepare to receive them. In order to ensure the safety of the 077 mechanical arsenal, the Yan country military specially stationed a company of troops around the factory. Then, since you can't resist, you can only enjoy it. And this kind of thing is also good for the 077 mechanical arsenal. Chapter 11 Bidding for the Yan State Military's new tank. Following the successful delivery of a batch of Type 59 civilian engineering vehicles by the 077 machinery and military factory to Linjiang provincial authorities, previously stagnant construction sites immediately became bustling with activity, with workers bustling into the work. The Type 59 civilian engineering vehicles produced by the 077 machinery and military factory are truly exceptional. A single Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle is as efficient as 2 or more imported vehicles. The Type 59 demonstrates exceptional adaptability in the face of extremely harsh environments. While other imported vehicles fail, the Type 59 continues to operate reliably and normally. Gradually, the reputation of the Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle spread throughout Linjiang province's construction industry, attracting increasing interest from construction companies and placing orders with the 077 machinery and military factory. The Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle is highly regarded for its affordable price, exceptional durability, and robust environmental performance. Furthermore, it offers efficient performance and excellent after-sales service. With so many advantages, bosses across the construction industry followed the lead of Linjiang provincial officials and purchased large quantities of these construction vehicles. The continuous influx of orders delighted the top brass of the 077 machinery and military factory. The Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle proved to be a magical key, successfully unlocking the door to the factory's revival. Riding on this surge in sales, the once struggling 077 machinery and military factory quickly turned a profit and flourished. The 077 machinery and military factory had completely escaped the shadow of bankruptcy. Not only did the 077 machinery and military factory reap huge profits, but even the top brass of the Yan State military were delighted. They hadn't anticipated the booming sales of the Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle. With the steady influx of funds, the Yan State military began to revitalize itself, seeking to upgrade its tank fleet. A high-level meeting erupted in debate. Some brass argued that, while the Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle was a cash cow, the funds available were limited, and they needed to do as much as they could with the available funds. The first step was to deploy some Type 69 tanks, to fill the void left by the scrapped Type 59 tanks. However, some high-ranking officials had different ideas. They believed that the Type 69 tank was already outdated compared to other countries' main battle tanks, and by countless generations, in terms of weaponry, powertrain components, and armor thickness. A group of senior military officials reasoned that, while deploying a small number of Type 69 tanks was fine, deploying them en masse would likely follow in the footsteps of the Type 59 tanks. By then, there was no chance of the Type 69 tanks being converted into civilian vehicles by the Type 077 machinery and military factory. So, what would the military do with the remaining Type 69 tanks? Therefore, these high-ranking officials felt the need for a redesigned and developed new main battle tank, one that could at least reach international standards in performance. After intense discussion, the Yan State military ultimately decided to deploy only a portion of the Type 69 tanks to replace the retired and scrapped Type 59 tanks. A tank tender would then be held. Was the Yan State military planning a brand new tank tender? The Yan State military urgently needs a main battle tank with excellent performance to enhance the country's military strength. So, they made an innovation and held a brand new tank bidding. The 077 mechanical arsenal was also honored to receive the cordial invitation from the Yan State military. When Lin Chenran received the notice from his superiors, he was extremely surprised at first. He never expected that the Yan State military would catch up with the trend and keep pace with the times, and even create a new initiative such as bidding activities. Although it is already very common abroad, but this is a domestic first. In the past, the Yan State military's usual practice was to directly assign tasks to specific mechanical arsenals, entrusting them with the responsibility of designing and developing certain weapons and equipment. However, now there has been such a change, and an unconventional bidding activity has been launched. Lin Chenran has developed a strong interest in the main battle tanks of the Yan State military. If the 077 mechanical arsenal can win the bid, it will open up a new way to make money. Lin Chenran then raised his head and whispered to the assistant sitting nearby, "Tell Mr. Song to come to my office. I need to discuss something with him." Not long after, there was a gentle knock on the door. Knock, knock, knock. Lin Chenran, immersed in his work, raised his head slightly, paused, and replied gently, "Come in." As soon as he finished speaking, the door gently opened, and Song Zian strode in with a vigorous stride. His demeanor was calm and reserved, giving off an air of trustworthiness. Seeing this, Lin Chenran quickly stood up from his seat and approached with a smile. "Mr. Song, I'm so sorry. I've been so busy lately. Otherwise, I would have come to your production workshop to see you in person a long time ago." A hint of relief crept across Song Zian's face at these words. He nodded in understanding, appreciating Lin Chenran's humble attitude. Lin Chenran did not become complacent, because he successfully designed and developed the popular Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle. He picked up the teapot, tilted the pot gently, let the boiling hot tea slowly pour into the teacup, and then handed it over with both hands. Song Zian took the teacup and gently sipped the hot tea. The warm liquid slid down his throat, bringing a comfortable feeling. Then Song Zian put down the cup, looked at Lin Chenran with a smile, and asked, "Is there something important that made you call me here so urgently?" Lin Chenran did not answer immediately, but silently picked up a document from his desk. Then he handed it to Song Xian beside him. The other party still looked confused. After reading the content on the document, Song Xian smiled slightly. The superiors want a brand new main battle tank. The Type 69 tank is already outdated and cannot adapt to the ever-changing form of warfare. Lin Chenran said lightly. The Type 69 medium tank is a medium tank developed and improved on the basis of the Type 59 medium tank. Its main weapon is still a 100mm smoothbore gun, and its firepower is exactly the same as that of the Type 59 tank. It just has improved mobility and night combat capability. Therefore, some high-ranking military officials of the Yan state looked down on the Type 69 tank. Now, the Yan state military is holding an unusual bidding meeting for a new type of main battle tank. Does our 077 mechanical arsenal also want to bid? Song Xian asked lightly, after reading the document carefully. Mr. Song, what do you think? There is also a Type 79 tank, which was successfully designed and developed in 1981, and equipped with hunting troops. I may postpone its design and development to 1984. Everything is for the sake of this book. Also, please do not take the weapons and equipment involved in the novel personally. Thank you. Chapter 12 The Second Crossing, Wakanda. Lin Chenran's question plunged Song Xian into deep thought. Does a 077 machinery and military factory truly have the ability to compete with other tank factories? This question lingered in Song Xian's mind. He took a deep breath and answered firmly, I believe our 077 machinery and military factory is fully capable of competing with other machinery and military factories. While the 077 machinery and military factory might not be as strong as other major domestic tank factories, it was by no means without foundation. In fact, the 077 machinery and military factory possessed a considerable foundation and potential. Especially in recent times, with the hot sales of the Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle in the domestic market, the 077 machinery and military factory has accumulated a large amount of funds, which undoubtedly became a powerful trump card in their hand. The 077 machinery and military factory possessed ample funds, which other tank factories could not match. Currently, most of Yan's third-tier military factories were stagnant. And at this moment, the Yan military unexpectedly announced a tender for main battle tanks. This news was like a shot in the arm. If they can successfully obtain the order for the latest main battle tank from the Yan state military, these manufacturers will be able to fully recover and their subsequent days will be very prosperous. After all, the Yan state military will purchase at least 100 vehicles. As a result, major tank manufacturers have been gearing up and devoting themselves to the design of their own factories. Not only that, any mechanical military factory with a little bit of strength can't wait to join this gluttonous feast. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and no one wants to miss it easily. There is no way, because most of the third-tier military factories are now broke, and they are just waiting for orders to overcome the difficulties. Mr. Song, this is what I've been waiting for you to say. Lin Chenran raised the corner of his mouth slightly, revealing a faint smile. Song Xian was such a smart man. How could he not understand the meaning of Lin Chenran's words? He smiled bitterly and said, you little bastard, you can't wait for me to jump into the pit you dug, right? Lin Chenran waved his hands quickly and said aggrievedly, Mr. Song, no way. How dare I? In the 077 mechanical arsenal, you are the only top engineer left. If even you are unwilling to take on this task, who else can I go to? Lin Chenran's rainbow fart was just right, which made Song Xian in a good mood and a barely perceptible smile appeared on his face. Forget it, since you have said so much, if I don't agree, wouldn't it seem that I'm unkind? Song Xian sighed in pretended helplessness, but in fact he was already very happy. Seeing Song Xian's statement, Lin Chenran was secretly delighted, but he did not show it on the surface. Instead, he continued to flatter him. Thank you, Mr. Song. With your help, it will be easy for our 077 machinery arsenal to obtain the military tank order. Song Xian waved his hand and scolded with a smile. Stop flattering me. I only agreed to it this time because you are so sincere. Lin Chenran naturally understood Song Xian's personality and knew that this old senior liked to be admired and praised. Therefore, Lin Chenran smiled and responded, "Yes, yes, Mr. Song, you are right. You are the mainstay of our factory. With you around, any problem can be solved. In fact, with a mischievous personality like Song Xian, you have to go along with his wishes. It's like a cat at home. You have to stroke its fur from time to time to make it feel comfortable and happy." So, after Song Xian received the task of designing and developing a tank from Lin Chenran, he was extremely excited and thrilled. He finally had a military task, so he took firm and powerful steps and strode out of the factory director's office. Recalling the huge success of the Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle designed and developed by the 077 machinery and military factory in the Yan country engineering vehicle market, Song Xian knew that he could not be satisfied with the status quo. If the 077 machinery and military factory can successfully design and develop a new main battle tank this time and obtain an order from the military, it will be a historic breakthrough. Not only can it contribute to the country's national defense, but it can also bring huge profits to the company. In addition, their 077 machinery and military factory can also launch an export version, enter the international market, and earn money from foreign customers. After Song Xian left, a familiar mechanical voice sounded in Lin Chenran's mind. Ding dong. Congratulations to the host for designing and developing the Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle and achieving great success in the Yan country market. Reward: 1 travel through the heavens. This sudden mechanical sound made Lin Chenran feel an irrepressible excitement. This time he was rewarded by the system again, a journey through the worlds. Recalling the last time he traveled to the world of Doraemon, the 3 props he exchanged with Doraemon not only helped the 077 mechanical arsenal to successfully overcome difficulties, but also gave them ample funds. Now facing this rare second opportunity to travel through the worlds, Lin Chenran is full of expectations and longings. Since the system rewards an opportunity to travel through the worlds of the heavens, Lin Chenran will naturally not miss this rare opportunity and must strike while the iron is hot. So Lin Chenran explained some things to his assistant in detail. He specifically told him not to let anyone disturb him. After all the preparations are completed, Lin Chenran can start his second personal journey through the worlds of the heavens with peace of mind. A cold and emotionless mechanical voice suddenly sounded slowly in the depths of his mind. Does the host start the journey through the worlds? Yes or no? Yes. Lin Chenran muttered without hesitation. In an instant, an indescribable powerful force swept over him like a surging tide, making him feel dizzy. It was as if the whole world was spinning rapidly, and his vision became more and more blurred. Everything in front of him seemed to be gradually fading away. When Lin Chenran opened his eyes again, he found that he was no longer in the familiar office. At this moment, he was in a completely unfamiliar environment, surrounded by dense jungles and towering trees. Lin Chenran was about to ask the system which alien world he had traveled to. Congratulations to the host for successfully traveling to Wakanda in the Marvel Universe. Wakanda? No way. Isn't this the country of Black Panther in the Marvel Universe? Wakanda is a poor and backward agricultural country on the surface, but it is actually the most technologically advanced country with a unique and rare resource, vibranium. This, Godfathers, please collect and read it. Don't force me to kneel down and beg you. Chapter 13 Wakanda Specialty, Vibranium. Lin Chenran's face instantly broke into a brilliant smile, as if he saw endless possibilities beckoning him. If he could successfully exchange for vibranium, conduct in-depth analysis of its substances, and then apply these findings to steel manufacturing, then, wouldn't the 077 mechanical arsenal soar to new heights? The thought of this made Lin Chenran's heart beat faster with excitement. Vibranium, this mysterious and powerful metal, known as Nirvana steel or sound-absorbing steel, originates from the distant reaches of outer space, and is primarily found in the mysterious land of Wakanda. In the Marvel Universe, vibranium is renowned for its unparalleled strength, second only to adamantium in hardness, making it a coveted and prized material for superheroes and villains alike. Because its molecules are nearly static, vibranium does not conduct heat or kinetic energy, but instead possesses the uncanny ability to absorb heat, kinetic energy, and energy. Captain America's indestructible shield and Black Panther's stunning suit are both crafted from vibranium. Immediately afterwards, the system began rapidly transmitting all sorts of intelligence about the Marvel Universe, particularly details related to Black Panther, into Lin Chenran's mind. Instantly, the overwhelming amount of information, like a tidal wave, overwhelmed Lin Chenran, yet it also gave him a deeper understanding of this fantastical world. After receiving the vast amount of information transmitted by the system, Lin Chenran finally grasped the current situation. Only 3 days remained until Black Panther T'Challa would assume the throne of Wakanda. With the system's assistance, he quickly disguised himself, entered the mysterious land of Wakanda, and successfully infiltrated the royal palace. At that moment, Black Panther T'Challa was discussing his succession to the throne in 3 days' time with his mother, Lamanda. T'Challa watched his father die before him, powerless to stop him. Overwhelmed with guilt, he apologized profusely to his mother. Lamanda gently embraced T'Challa, patted his back, and soothed him. "Son, this isn't your fault. Your father will understand." Tears shone in her eyes, but more than that, pride and comfort for T'Challa. T'Challa murmured, "But I feel I haven't fulfilled my responsibilities as a son." Lamanda spoke passionately, "No, T'Challa, you've done well. You are Wakanda's finest warrior and our pride. Your father and I have longed for your coronation as the new king of Wakanda." She held T'Challa's hand tightly, as if conveying endless strength and courage to him. "He is with us, son. In 3 days, when you wear the crown, you will shoulder the heavy responsibility of leading Wakanda." Lamanda's gaze was firm and trusting. T'Challa curled his lips, a wry smile playing. "Mother, to be honest, I don't think I'm ready yet." A hint of confusion and unease lingered in his eyes. But Lamanda interrupted him without hesitation, her tone growing firmer. "No, T'Challa, you are ready. You possess wisdom, courage, and love, qualities essential to a great king." With that, Lamanda resolutely turned and left T'Challa's palace, leaving T'Challa alone to ponder his future responsibilities and mission as king of Wakanda. Who? Black Panther T'Challa's heart sank in alarm. His keen senses told him that within the endless darkness, a pair of eyes were silently watching him. Confused, T'Challa glanced around, trying to spot the figure lurking in the shadows, but all was silent, only the faint sound of wind brushing past his ears. Then, a faint presence crept into his senses. T'Challa instantly recognized it as the mysterious presence that had been lurking in the darkness. Lin Chenran's lips curled slightly, a hint of pride welling up in his heart. Though Black Panther T'Challa possessed extraordinary insight and keen intuition, he wouldn't have been able to detect Lin Chenran's presence unless he'd revealed even the slightest hint of his presence. With a subtle flicker, Lin Chenran suddenly appeared before T'Challa like a ghost. His appearance came without warning, as if he had stepped out of thin air, causing T'Challa's eyes to widen. T'Challa's nerves instantly tensed, his body involuntarily on high alert. His eyes were filled with vigilance and suspicion, and his deep voice, with a hint of nervousness, asked, "Who are you? Why are you in my palace?" T'Challa clenched his fist slightly, his muscles tense, ready for any possible danger. His gaze was fixed on Lin Chenran, not missing a single movement. "Black Panther T'Challa, don't be nervous. I'm not your enemy. I'm a traveler from a different dimension of time and space who has happened to find myself in your world." Lin Chenran smiled faintly, responding calmly and gently. His eyes were clear and deep, revealing an otherworldly aura. Standing there, he seemed a unique being, as if transcending the constraints of time and space. "No. This is just an exchange. And I'm not in your Marvel universe. After exchanging the vibranium I need, I'll leave and may never cross back into your world again." "A time traveler?" Black Panther T'Challa frowned, a hint of doubt and distrust in his eyes. Yet, the Black Panther power surging within him constantly reminded him that the person before him was an extremely dangerous being. "Yes, a time traveler," Lin Chenran admitted without reservation, then added, "I have information that's very important to you." T'Challa's heart tightened, curious about what crucial intelligence the other party possessed, but he also remained highly alert. "Exchange?" T'Challa asked tentatively. Lin Chenran's lips curled slightly, as if he were nodding gently. "You want vibranium?" T'Challa's voice suddenly became low and serious. Vibranium, as a precious resource unique to Wakanda, has always been regarded as the core wealth of the country, and must not be easily leaked out. Now Lin Chenran actually proposed to use the so-called important information in exchange for vibranium, which is undoubtedly a provocation to the kingdom of Wakanda. Chala's face gradually became gloomy, and there was a flash of anger in his eyes. Vibranium is related to Wakanda's technological development and national defense security. After the former king's brother was discovered to have stolen vibranium and left Wakanda, he wanted to bring him back to the country to see the elders, so vibranium must not flow out. No. This is just an exchange. And I'm not a creature in the Marvel universe. After exchanging the vibranium I need, I will leave, and I may never come to your world again. Lin Chenran said calmly. Don't miss it. If you pass by. Robbery. Leave your collection plus follow up. Chapter 14. Transaction completed. Vibranium obtained. As long as Lin Chenran wasn't from this Marvel universe, even if he obtained vibranium, it wouldn't have any negative impact on Wakanda. If I truly intended to seize the vibranium by force, Black Panther T'Challa, could you stop me? Lin Chenran said calmly, yet his tone shone with immense confidence and strength. Just now, I only deliberately leaked a trace of my aura. Otherwise, with your Black Panther power, you wouldn't have been able to detect it. Lin Chenran's lips curled slightly, as if mocking Chala's incompetence, while also demonstrating his own strength. As soon as he finished speaking, with the help of the system, the aura emanating from Lin Chenran completely vanished. If T'Challa hadn't been able to see Lin Chenran, he would have suspected he had quietly departed. Then, Chala's eyes widened, his face filled with disbelief. How is this possible? Chala's heart was in turmoil, his eyes filled with shock and confusion. What was happening before him was simply too unbelievable, completely beyond his comprehension. Lin Chenran, displaying immense strength, then continued, T'Challa, I'm merely a traveler, traversing the universe. My interest in vibranium is purely out of curiosity. You should also be aware that vibranium, a rare metal, is only possessed by the kingdom of Wakanda, and it's a non-renewable resource. Lin Chenran employed a combination of soft and hard tactics, waiting to see if T'Challa would yield. Lin Chenran's words plunged T'Challa into deep thought. Indeed, for a peerless powerhouse like Lin Chenran, obtaining vibranium without anyone noticing would be easier than drinking water. Yet, the other party chose not to steal the vibranium, but instead actively sought him out to trade. This suggested that Lin Chenran was a principled time traveler, or perhaps constrained by some force. But T'Challa didn't dare take the risk. After all, powerful individuals like Lin Chenran acted solely on their own whims. If he wanted to contain the other party, he must possess equal strength. After a moment's thought, T'Challa finally came to an answer. Your vibranium is fine, but I can only give you a small portion. Lin Chenran's heart surged with joy upon hearing this. Yet, his expression remained calm, as if he had expected all this. T'Challa, on the other hand, stared intently at Lin Chenran's impassive face, trying to discern a clue from his expression, so he could figure out how to deal with this enigmatic opponent. However, Lin Chenran gave him no time to breathe, shouting, the deal is done. Instantly, a cold, mechanical voice echoed through both Lin Chenran and T'Challa's minds, like the tolling of an ancient bronze bell, deafening and thrilling. This sudden turn of events startled T'Challa, his eyes widening as he stared at Lin Chenran in disbelief. He wondered, who is this person? At the same moment, the corners of Lin Chenran's mouth curled up slightly, a subtle smile forming. With the contract officially established, Lin Chenran no longer worried about T'Challa reneging on his promise to hand over the vibranium. He then relayed some crucial information to T'Challa. What? My uncle N'Job rebelled and attempted to murder Zuri, only to be accidentally killed by my father? My uncle has a son living abroad? Because my father accidentally killed his father, he harbors hatred for the Black Panthers and Wakanda, and is colluding with arms dealers to steal the vibranium. He even wants to compete with me for the throne of Wakanda? T'Challa was speechless after hearing Lin Chenran's words. He had never expected anything like this. Suddenly, T'Challa's eyes grew incredibly determined. If this were true, he would show no mercy or leniency. T'Challa would show no mercy to anyone who dared to threaten the kingdom of Wakanda, even if it was his own uncle's orphan. It wasn't long before T'Challa completely digested the information Lin Chenran had provided, and he sighed deeply. Thank you so much for sharing such important information with me. Otherwise, I might have let Eric go out of my own way, leading to his ascension to the throne of Wakanda and ultimately plunging the entire country into a brutal war. The decisive, resolute Black Panther, T'Challa would not hesitate to eliminate any potential threat to Wakanda. Family ties were undoubtedly important to him, but they paled in comparison to the safety of the people of Wakanda. At this moment, T'Challa emanated an unparalleled aura of kingship, inspiring awe. T'Challa, you are now finally worthy of the throne of Wakanda. You now exude the aura of a true king, an emperor. You show no mercy to those outside your family. Yet, you value your own people above all else. Lin Chenran clapped softly in praise of T'Challa. Yes, this is the Black Panther. This is what T'Challa should be. These are the qualities a king should possess. T'Challa's voice grew low and hoarse. Thank you very much for the information you provided. It's so valuable to me. Here's the vibranium you need. He carefully pulled a small piece of precious vibranium from his pocket and gently handed it to Lin Chenran, who was standing nearby. Lin Chenran's eyes fixed on the vibranium material, which emanated a mysterious blue light, a flicker of delight in his eyes. He smiled slightly, reaching out his hands and steadily taking the precious gift. He then examined it carefully, as if exploring its mysteries. After a moment, he nodded with satisfaction and placed the vibranium into the system's backpack. Transaction complete. The system's mechanical voice echoed simultaneously in the minds of Lin Chenran and T'Challa. T'Challa stared at the vibranium that disappeared before his eyes, a mixture of astonishment and confusion crossing his face. In an instant, he came back to his senses. For a powerful being like Lin Chenran, it is not surprising that he can collect vibranium so quietly. After all, the strength displayed by Lin Chenran has far exceeded the imagination of ordinary people. Thinking of this, T'Challa's mood gradually calmed down, but his eyes still revealed awe for Lin Chenran. Since T'Challa is so straightforward, then Lin Chenran will not hide it. After the transaction was completed, Lin Chenran decided to maintain the friendship between the two parties and reveal an important information to T'Challa privately. Godfathers, please collect and read. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 15, Leaving Wakanda and Returning to the Real World. T'Challa, the Marvel universe you live in is far more complicated than you can imagine. Not only are there all kinds of superheroes and villains, but there are also some gods that are powerful beyond imagination. Lin Chenran looked at T'Challa calmly, his tone revealing a majesty that cannot be ignored. Lin Chenran paused for a moment, then continued, they possess unparalleled power and wisdom. Not all powerful beings are willing to communicate with you on an equal footing like me. Some powerful beings will only interfere in worldly affairs at will according to their own preferences, and may even pose a threat to Wakanda. In order to protect the country and the people, you must go all out to improve your strength, and work hard to improve the technological strength of the kingdom of Wakanda. Otherwise it will be difficult for you to remain invincible in this world full of crises. T'Challa listened quietly. He knew that what Lin Chenran said was true. As the king of Wakanda, he shoulders the heavy responsibility of protecting the country and the people. Although Wakanda already has advanced technology, he still feels tremendous pressure in the face of so many unknown challenges. Lin Chenran looked at T'Challa thoughtfully and continued, in this world, the poor often gain superpowers through mutation to become stronger, while the rich rely on the power of technology to improve themselves. And you, Black Panther T'Challa, have both the powerful power brought by mutation and the leading technological resources of Wakanda. Logically speaking, your combat effectiveness should not be just this. Lin Chenran's words struck T'Challa's heart like a warning bell. He knew very well that he still had a long way to go. When Lin Chenran finished his last sentence, his figure gradually blurred and finally disappeared from T'Challa's sight. T'Challa was left with a bewildered look. Disappeared? T'Challa was shocked. He couldn't believe what was happening before his eyes. He concentrated his mind and used the power of the Black Panther to carefully scan his palace, not missing any corner. Even so, he still didn't find Lin Chenran's figure. Did he leave? T'Challa's brows were tightly furrowed, and a hint of doubt and uneasiness revealed in his eyes. He scanned the surroundings several times again, and Chala finally confirmed that Lin Chenran had left his palace in the kingdom of Wakanda. Chala continued to digest the news just said by Lin Chenran. After leaving the Marvel universe where Black Panther is located and returning to the real world, the mechanical voice of the system sounded at this moment. Congratulations to the host for successfully reaching a deal with Black Panther Chala and obtaining the vibranium material unique to the Marvel universe. Transaction completed. Lin Chenran took a deep breath, trying to calm his excitement. Returning to his familiar office, he unhesitatingly pulled the precious vibranium he'd exchanged with Chala from his system backpack. The azure metal lay quietly in his hand, emitting a mysterious glow. Lin Chenran gazed at the vibranium, his thoughts gradually lost in it. He recalled Captain America's indestructible shield and Black Panther's stunning suit, both forged from vibranium. In its early days, Captain America's shield could withstand almost any attack without damage. Even its later destruction by Thanos' machete was a testament to its strength. Furthermore, Captain America's shield wasn't entirely made of vibranium. Adding a tiny bit of vibranium to the existing world's steel could bring about earth-shattering changes. Lin Chenran knew full well that he couldn't be sure he'd ever travel back to the Marvel universe, where Black Panther existed. Therefore, the vibranium in his hands would become a non-renewable and scarce resource. His next task was to delve deeper into the material's internal makeup, explore whether this magical metal can be replicated in this world, or find a similar, but slightly inferior alternative material, or a material that is slightly inferior but much better. This is a daunting task. If a similar material is really found, it will give Yan country's steel industry and military industry a pair of wings to soar. Producing special steel and then using it in the Type 59 tank will be like taking off from nowhere. The Type 59 tank can still fight for another 10 years. Thinking of himself, Lin Chenran's face broke into a bright smile. The Type 59 tank's performance is lagging behind. That's just because it hasn't undergone the transformation of the 077 mechanical arsenal. Lin Chenran was determined to analyze the relevant substances within the vibranium material, but to his surprise, the system was so thoughtful that it sorted out the substances and corresponding synthesis formulas. Lin Chenran was completely shocked. He had never expected his system to be so powerful and thoughtful, and could actually directly analyze the substances that vibranium material is composed of. Lin Chenran was extremely excited and couldn't help but praise the system. System, you really are the most reliable boy. He was concentrating on browsing the report on vibranium materials analyzed by the system. Not long after, his brows were tightly furrowed. The reason was simple. The substances that made up the vibranium materials did not exist in the current world, let alone replicating them. This discovery undoubtedly poured cold water on Lin Chenran and made him fall into deep thought. Hiss. Lin Chenran frowned, thinking to himself, something seems to be wrong. Although I can't completely replicate the special material of vibranium, through a series of complex research and experiments, I believe that I will be able to create a similar alternative material. Although it may not be as powerful as vibranium, its performance is definitely much better than the conventional materials used on Blue Star today. Lin Chenran murmured softly, while quickly eliminating those substances that do not currently exist on Blue Star one by one. Then he began to carefully select various existing substances and try to combine them cleverly in different ways. Time passed by minute, and for a full 3 hours, Lin Chenran was fully focused, thinking over and over again, constantly adjusting the proportions and combinations of each substance. Finally, hard work pays off. A super simple version of vibranium material was successfully born through his efforts. This is just the beginning, and there is still a lot of work to be done. It is necessary to enter the laboratory to actually manufacture this new material. Secondly, it needs to be comprehensively and rigorously tested and verified. With this thought in mind, Lin Chenran stood up and left his office without hesitation, striding towards the experimental area of the 077 mechanical arsenal. A week passed quietly. After a week in the laboratory, Lin Chenran finally made a new breakthrough. He had finally created a super simple version of the special material. Simply adding it to special steel and titanium alloy would significantly increase the relative strength of the material. The more added, the greater the increase in strength. Of course, it was definitely not as good as adding vibranium materials. Chapter 16 discussing the design of a new main battle tank. Lin Chenran had just stepped into his office, and before his but could even touch the chair, there was a rapid knock on the door. "Come in," he shouted. The door opened, and Song Xian hurried in from outside. When Lin Chenran saw the person coming, he hurried to greet him with a warm smile on his face. "Mr. Song, it's you. Please come in. Please come in. Sit down. Sit down. Come, sit here," Lin Chenran said as he led Song Xian to the sofa beside him, and the two sat down together. Then, Lin Chenran turned to his assistant and ordered, "Go and pour us 2 cups of hot tea." There was no way, since the past week, Lin Chenran had been rooted in the laboratory of the 077 mechanical arsenal, and had not left for a single step, so naturally. "Mr. Song, you are so anxious to find me, is there something important?" Lin Chenran took a sip of hot tea and asked. "You kid, have you forgotten about this?" Song Xian complained immediately after hearing it. Suddenly, Lin Chenran had a flash of inspiration, and a crucial piece of information surfaced in his mind. Before traveling to Wakanda, he had specifically instructed Song Xian to design and develop a new main battle tank. And now, Song Xian's personal visit must be related to the design and development of this tank. Hahaha, I'm so sorry, Mr. Song. I've been so busy lately. I just rushed back from the factory lab and barely had time to sit down before you barged in, Lin Chenran teased with a laugh. Song Xian didn't exchange pleasantries, but got straight to the point, quickly pulling out the original blueprints for the new main battle tank design, the product of his own and the efforts of many engineers at the 077 machinery arsenal. "Chenran, take a look." Song Xian carefully unfolded the original blueprints. Then, Lin Chenran began to peruse them with rapt attention. Due to the tight timeline, with only a week to complete, the original design was relatively rough and sloppy. Despite this, the parameters marked on it were still clearly legible and clear to Lin Chenran. After careful observation, Lin Chenran discovered that Song Xian and other engineers from the 077 machinery arsenal had actually made significant improvements and revisions, based on the Type 59 tank. Despite the extensive changes, Lin Chenran could still capture the familiar outline and shadow of the Type 59 tank from this original drawing. After seeing the original design drawings of the new tank by Song Xian and others, Lin Chenran's deep eyes lifted slightly, and he asked calmly, "Mr. Song, is this new tank a large-scale improvement, based on the Type 59 tank?" Hearing Lin Chenran's question, Song Xian did not deny it, but instead smiled slightly. "Yes, this new main battle tank is indeed based on the Type 59 tank, with extensive modifications and improvements." Song Xian then explained in detail, "We have not only comprehensively upgraded key areas such as the power system, artillery, and armor protection, but also incorporated the unique innovative technologies of our 077 machinery and military factory. In fact, the 077 machinery and military factory is very familiar with the Type 59 tank. Because of this, they were able to successfully convert it into a civilian engineering vehicle, earning huge profits, and accumulating strong capital for the company's development." Lin Chenran nodded slightly in agreement. "Mr. Song is absolutely right. The Type 59 tank is a classic product, and its superiority is undeniable. However, with the constant advancement of the times, it has been unable to adapt, and has gradually fallen behind. I personally strongly agree that the new main battle tank designed and developed by our 077 machinery and military factory should be deeply modified, based on the Type 59. After all, this approach not only maximizes the use of existing mature technologies and resources, but also reduces R&D costs and risks. Even if the military ultimately doesn't adopt our 077 machinery and military factory's new main battle tank, we can still promote it to the international market and export it. This not only showcases the strength of our 077 machinery and military factory, but also earns a lot of foreign exchange. Why not?" Song Xian smiled brightly upon hearing this. He had originally assumed that his factory director, Lin Chenran, didn't support their idea, which was why he had hurriedly come to seek advice with his sloppy design. Unexpectedly, Lin Chenran enthusiastically supported the idea of using the Type 59 tank as a basis for designing a new main battle tank, even offering consolation by suggesting that, if the Yan Kingdom military didn't purchase it, they could simply export it. While Lin Chenran agreed with Song Zian and other engineers from the 077 machinery and arsenal using the Type 59 as a base for the design and development of the new tank, he also offered some unique perspectives. First, regarding artillery armament, the previous Type 59 tank was equipped with a 100mm smoothbore gun. In the 1950s and 1960s, this firepower configuration was more than adequate. However, times had changed, and by the 1980s, it was clearly insufficient. Main battle tanks, both in Taiwan and Russia, had already been equipped with 125mm smoothbore guns. Furthermore, Russia was about to equip its latest main battle tank with an even more powerful 130mm smoothbore gun. If Yan Kingdom's new main battle tank continued to use a 110mm or 115mm smoothbore gun, we would be at a significant disadvantage in any future tank confrontations, a 200% certainty of loss. While gun caliber isn't the sole factor determining victory or defeat in a tank war, it's undeniable that tanks equipped with large caliber guns are indeed more capable of penetrating the armor of tanks equipped with smaller caliber guns. Indeed, we are being too conservative. Song Zian couldn't help but sigh. According to their original concept, the new main battle tank was to be equipped with a 115mm smoothbore gun. If that were true, the Yan state military probably wouldn't be interested in the main battle tank design and development proposal from the 077 mechanical arsenal. I remember that a domestic military factory seems to be working on the design and development of a 120mm smoothbore gun. Lin Chenran suddenly turned, his gaze fixed on Song Zian, and asked in a questioning tone. Yes, the 212 mechanical arsenal is indeed developing a 120mm smoothbore gun. But as far as I know, due to the 212 mechanical arsenal's severe funding shortage, the 120mm smoothbore gun development project is currently at a standstill. Song Zian waved his hand helplessly. Currently, domestic 115mm smoothbore gun technology is relatively mature. This is also why Song Zian himself, and many engineers of the 077 machinery arsenal chose a more reliable 115mm smoothbore gun when designing and developing the new main battle tank. It is an important reason why they did not choose the unattainable and ethereal 120mm smoothbore gun. Don't miss it. If you pass by, leave a comment and read more plus collect. Chapter 17 Determine the final design plan. Although the 120mm smoothbore gun development project at the 212 mechanical arsenal is currently stalled, if our proposal is adopted, their project will be revived by the military. If the Yan state military truly wants a 120mm smoothbore gun on its new main battle tank, it will certainly allocate funds to the 212 mechanical arsenal to allow them to continue developing the 120mm smoothbore gun. In that case, Song Zian took out his notebook and made a note to replace the original 115mm smoothbore gun with a larger caliber 120mm smoothbore gun. Although the 120mm smoothbore gun development project currently under the charge of the 212 mechanical arsenal has run into difficulties and has come to a standstill, as long as the main battle tank design and development plan provided by their 077 mechanical arsenal can be recognized and adopted by the Yan state military, then the 212 mechanical arsenal's 120mm smoothbore gun design and development project may receive military support and be restarted. Indeed, if the Yan state military planned to equip its new main battle tank with a 120mm smoothbore gun, it would undoubtedly allocate appropriate funds to the 212th mechanical arsenal to further research and development of this type of gun. With this in mind, Song Zian immediately crossed out the original main battle tank design and development drawings, replacing them with the 115mm smoothbore gun. I have something useful for armor, Lin Chenran said mysteriously. Something useful? Song Zian was immediately perplexed. He secretly wondered, could it be that our factory director has a magic weapon that can improve the defensive power of tank armor? Actually, I didn't spend much time in the director's office last week. I spent the entire day in the factory lab researching this special steel, Lin Chenran explained calmly. What? Special steel? Chenran, could it be you succeeded? Upon hearing this, Song Xian's face immediately lit up with astonishment. If Lin Chenran truly succeeded in developing this special steel, it would be a truly earth-shattering and joyous event for the 077 mechanical arsenal. According to him, this special steel could not only be used in main battle tanks, but it would also significantly enhance their defensive capabilities. This would surely usher in a historic leap forward for the 077 mechanical arsenal. Lin Chenran's lips curled up slightly, and he chuckled softly. Almost, but it still needs further verification. Really? Song Xian's eyes widened, a look of disbelief on his face. In just 1 week, a completely new special steel material was found. That. Song Xian was dumbfounded, completely unsure how to respond. This speed and ability far exceeded the realm of genius. It was simply sheer genius. Mr. Song, it's actually more than just this week's work. We had already begun researching the new special steel before I came to the 077 mechanical arsenal, Lin Chenran whispered to Song Xian, lowering his voice. After arriving at the 077 mechanical arsenal, my inspiration has been pouring out, leading to the current achievements, he added, so as not to cause too much of a stir. Song Xian, though no longer as stunned as before, remained filled with admiration. After all, independently discovering a new special steel material is truly remarkable. That's quite impressive. Song Xian exclaimed, his eyes gleaming with admiration. I estimate that the special steel I've developed will be several, even dozens, of times stronger than the steel used in the existing Type 69 tank, Lin Chenran said calmly. If vibranium is added, its strength will be even greater, perhaps hundreds or even thousands of times greater. Vibranium is more than just a name. In the Marvel universe, Captain America's shield has withstood countless attacks and remained intact, fully demonstrating the power of vibranium. After 2 hours of intense discussion, the preliminary form of the new main battle tank was finally successfully outlined through the joint efforts of Lin Chenran and Song Xian. Compared to the existing, outdated model, this newly designed and developed new main battle tank undoubtedly achieved a qualitative leap. It's like the Yangtze River's waves behind push the waves ahead, and the waves ahead die on the beach. As the saying goes, the disciple surpasses the master. Song Xian was instantly overwhelmed with emotion. Lin Chenran scratched his head, a resigned smile crossing his face. He said softly, Mr. Song, you are too kind. He shook his head slightly, acknowledging that he was not that outstanding. I know exactly what I'm capable of. Lin Chenran was well aware of his own strength and status, and did not dare to be overly arrogant, or exaggerate in front of a senior like Song Xian. Song Xian was recognized as a top talent in Yan country. His talent and achievements were remarkable. Compared to him, Lin Chenran seemed much more immature. In the face of such a remarkable figure, Lin Chenran remained humble and in awe. After expressing his admiration for Lin Chenran, Song Xian picked up the brand new, meticulously designed and developed main battle tank design, feeling a surge of satisfaction. He carefully rolled up the precious blueprint and prepared to leave Lin Chenran's office to return to the 077 machinery arsenal to work with other engineers on the subsequent refinement and improvements. As Song Xian approached the office door, Lin Chenran suddenly raised his voice and called out, Mr. Song, please be advised. The military's tank bidding conference is only 1 week away. He hoped to remind them of the urgency of the deadline and ensure they could complete the task on time. Although Song Xian had already left the office, his response was clear. Got it. This brief reply indicated that he understood Lin Chenran's reminder and would take it seriously. Then, the office door slowly closed, and Song Xian departed, carrying the important blueprint. Lin Chenran was left alone to ponder his next steps. Meanwhile, Lin Chenran watched Song Xian walk away until he was out of sight. Then, slowly, he turned around and settled back into his spacious office chair. The mountain of documents before him was a silent reminder of the unfinished work of the past week, all of which he needed to personally attend to. Lin Chenran sighed helplessly. What a miserable man. He seemed to want to release all the exhaustion and resentment in his body with this sigh. However, he didn't have much time to lament. He quickly quickened his pace hoping to finish the documents as quickly as possible and end the day's work. As the minutes ticked by, Lin Chenran immersed himself in the files, his eyes focused and determined. His hands quickly flipped through each document, occasionally picking up a pen to make comments or revisions. He had only one thought in mind: finish these damn documents quickly and clock out. Just as Lin Chenran thought he was about to finish, his assistant walked in untimely, carrying a thick stack of new documents. It was clear that he would be the final decision maker on these documents. Lin Chenran stared at the ever-increasing workload, his eyes widening. Finally, unable to suppress his inner frustration and anger, he let out a low roar. Is this going to end? Despite the complaints, hard work still had to be done. Type 80 Main Battle Tank Performance Parameters. The Type 80 Main Battle Tank is a second-generation Chinese-developed main battle tank with the following performance parameters. Combat weight: 38 tons. Crew: 4. Engine rated power: 730 horsepower. Maximum speed: 57 to 60 km/h. Maximum gradability: 32 degrees. Maximum roll: 30 degrees. Vertical wall clearance: 0.8 meters. Trench width: 2.7 meters. Wading depth: 1.4 meters. 105 mm rifled gun. Ammunition types include armor-piercing, discarding sabot, armor-piercing, fragmentation, and grenades. Ammunition supply: 44 rounds. 8 smoke launchers. The communication system is an 889 radio. It is equipped with 3-dimensional defense systems. The diving depth is 5 meters. The sighting and observation system is a first or second generation low light system. Smoke grenades are also provided. Chapter 18 Participating in the Yan State Military's second generation main battle tank bidding conference. A week passed quietly. Lin Chenran and Song Xian were ready. They took the car of their own 077 mechanical military factory to the location of the Yan State Military Tank Tender Conference. After a 3-hour-long journey, Lin Chenran and Song Xian finally arrived at the location. Because the road conditions were really bad, the car Lin Chenran was riding in was very bumpy. Lin Chenran was fine, but Song Xian was very uncomfortable, a little uncomfortable, and his face was a little pale. Mr. Song, are you okay? Didn't I tell you before? Let me come this time, and you stay in the factory, and take care of all the big and small matters in the factory with peace of mind. After Song Xian paused for a moment, he said half jokingly, "Stinky boy, do you think I don't know what you are thinking? You just want to keep me in the factory to help you deal with the piles of documents. This is impossible." When Lin Chenran heard Song Xian say this about herself, she immediately pouted and retorted, "Mr. Song, I'm doing this for your own good. What you said just now is simply an insult to my personality. How could I be that kind of person? Absolutely not." Lin Chenran shook his head repeatedly and denied it firmly. He could not admit it in any case. "Whether it is as I said, you know it better than anyone else in your heart. Okay, stop talking nonsense. Let's go in quickly." Then, under the guidance of the staff, the two prepared to walk into the meeting room. Suddenly, a familiar shout came from behind. "Old Song, wait a minute." After hearing the voice, Lin Chenran and Song Xian stopped at the same time, turned around, their eyes fell on the familiar figure, and then walked forward quickly. "Hello, Mr. ZHU." Lin Chenran greeted with a smile on his face. "Hello, old ZHU." Song Xian also stepped forward and greeted warmly. Standing in front of them was the one-armed chief designer who supported half of the history of Yan's tanks, Mr. ZHU. Lin Chenran and others were not surprised to see Mr. ZHU from the 617 Mechanical Arsenal here. After all, this is a tank bidding conference held by the Yan military for the second generation main battle tanks. And as a major tank manufacturer in Yan, the 617 Mechanical Arsenal will naturally not miss this bidding conference. Then, Song Xian introduced Lin Chenran, who was standing beside him, to Mr. ZHU. "This is Lin Chenran, the director of our 077 machinery and military factory." A flicker of admiration flashed in Mr. ZHU's eyes, and he enthusiastically praised, "Wow. Truly the younger generation is pushing the older generation forward. I didn't expect Director Lin to be so promising at such a young age." Mr. ZHU had certainly heard of the 077 machinery and military factory. After all, converting the Type 59 tank into a civilian engineering vehicle and dominating the market, crushing foreign engineering vehicle companies, was no ordinary feat. It was thanks to Lin Chenran that the 077 machinery and military factory was revitalized. This feat earned Lin Chenran public praise from the Yan state military and various public forums. Other machinery and military factories, which had been languishing, became examples of negative behavior. Given the same conditions and the same predicament, why could others succeed while you couldn't? The 077 machinery and military factory was a prime example. Facing Elder ZHU's praise, Lin Chenran acted very modestly. He quickly waved his hand and said, "Elder ZHU, you're really flattering me. How could I dare to be so arrogant in front of such a respected senior like you?" Hearing this, Elder ZHU laughed and said, "I never thought your teacher could actually teach a disciple as outstanding as you." It turned out that Elder ZHU also knew Lin Chenran's teacher. This surprised Lin Chenran a little, but at the same time, it also made him respect Elder ZHU even more. He quickly said, "No, no, no. Elder ZHU, please stop praising me. I almost feel like I'm getting carried away. Okay, old ZHU, even if you praise Chenran to the hilt, it's useless. He's the man you'll never get in your lifetime. You'd better give up on this idea," Song Zian said jokingly. As soon as he said this, everyone present burst into laughter. Oh, if only Chenran wasn't the director of the 077 mechanical arsenal, then I would definitely find ways to dig him over to our 617 mechanical arsenal. Mr. ZHU sighed with regret. It's a pity that everything is too late now. He couldn't help but sigh heavily again. Indeed, Lin Chenran's starting point was so high that he had become the director of the 077 mechanical arsenal at a young age. And now the 077 mechanical arsenal is making a lot of money with the Type 59 modified civilian engineering vehicle. The personal welfare benefits of employees are also among the best among the major third-tier military factories. The 617 mechanical arsenal simply could not give Lin Chenran a suitable position, nor could it provide corresponding welfare benefits. Thinking of this, Mr. ZHU shook his head helplessly. Song Zian was right. Lin Chenran was destined to have no connection with their 617 mechanical arsenal. He was a man they would never get. Lin Chenran, Song Zian and Mr. ZHU all wisely avoided this topic. I never thought your 077 machinery and military factory would even participate in the military's second generation main battle tank bidding conference, Mr. ZHU asked with a puzzled look on his face. You know, the 077 machinery and military factory has already made a lot of money from the Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle, so it seems unnecessary to get involved in the military's second generation main battle tank project. Lin Chenran replied modestly, Mr. ZHU, we came here to participate in the military's second generation main battle tank bidding conference, mainly to learn from our brother manufacturers. At this time, Song Zian, who was standing aside, retorted, what's the matter? Mr. ZHU, are you only allowing your 617 machinery and military factory to participate in the military's second generation main battle tank bidding conference? You don't allow our 077 machinery and military factory to participate? This is too unreasonable. Although our 077 machinery and military factory did not start out by manufacturing tanks, we still have a certain foundation. Mr. ZHU quickly shook his head and waved his hands to express his denial. How can that be? Let's compete fairly. Lin Chenran on the side said lightly, let's compete fairly. I also want to see the design plan of the 617 machinery and military factory for the second generation main battle tank. There was less than an hour left before the Yan State military's second generation main battle tank bidding conference. Lin Chenran and the other two stopped talking about tanks and turned to talk about other things. Lin Chenran and the other two were chatting and laughing as they were guided by the staff into the conference room of the Yan State military's second generation main battle tank bidding conference. At this time, several directors or chief engineers of third-line military factories were already waiting here. When they saw Mr. ZHU walk into the conference room, they all stepped forward to greet him. After Lin Chenran and Song Xian exchanged a glance, they walked directly to the pre-arranged seats and sat down, waiting for the arrival of the military. I'm sorry, the 616 mechanical military factory for artillery in front was changed to 212 mechanical military factory, mainly because it is too close to the tank factory 617 mechanical military factory. I'm afraid I'll write it in a mess. I wrote it in a mess just now. Please read and collect it. Chapter 19. The elimination rate reached 95%. An hour flew by like a fleeting arrow. As time went on, the once empty conference room began to fill with activity. A group of Yanji military leaders filed into the room. Master Wendy. As these leaders entered the room, the managers of the third-tier military factories, who had been waiting for them, rose to their feet, greeted them with respectful smiles, and nodded in greeting. Master Wendy, the head of the Yanji military's equipment department, fixed his sharp gaze on the factory managers in front of him. He raised his hand slightly, gestured downward, and signaled that everyone should relax. Then, in a calm tone, he said, "Thank you very much for taking the time out of your busy schedules to attend our military's second-generation main battle tank bidding conference. This conference is of great significance to our Yanji military, and we hope you will take it seriously." Upon hearing this, the managers of the third-tier military factories quickly responded, "This is all part of our responsibilities." Master Wendy then invited the factory managers to sit down. After everyone was seated, Elder Wendy, on behalf of the Yanji military, elaborated on the basic requirements for a second-generation main battle tank. A second-generation main battle tank must possess a powerful firepower system, be equipped with an advanced large-caliber smoothbore gun, and be equipped with high-performance ammunition. The tank must utilize composite armor or other new protective technologies to enhance its defensive capabilities. Elder Wendy stated this in a serious voice. If any third-tier military factory's design proposal failed to meet the Yanji military's proposed basic second-generation main battle tank specifications, then they would not need to present their main battle tank design and development plan to the public. Because there was no need, the Yanji military looked down on them. That. A clamor erupted in the room, and Elder Wendy's words were like a bombshell, causing a huge uproar in the crowd. The managers of the third-tier military factories looked at each other in astonishment and disbelief. No one had expected the military to be so decisive this time. Second-generation main battle tank designs that did not meet the Yanji military's requirements were rejected without even a chance to be presented. The military's decision was like a thunderclap, resonating through the minds of the managers of the third-tier military factories, leaving them stunned. The previously bustling atmosphere suddenly fell silent, and everyone fell into deep thought. They were absorbed in comparing their own mechanical military factories' design and development plans with the military's requirements. Now that the military had clearly stated its needs, if they still insisted on presenting their plans, even though they didn't meet them, their mechanical military factories would be infamous within the Yan military, and future cooperation opportunities would be extremely difficult. Of course, they were even more reluctant to abandon the Yan military's massive order for second-generation main battle tanks. Therefore, they were diligently reviewing their own mechanical military factories' design and development plans for the second-generation main battle tanks. More than half of the managers of the third-tier military factories sighed inwardly. Their mechanical military factories' second-generation main battle tank designs simply didn't meet the Yan military's requirements. Only a few third-tier military factories had designs that met the Yan military's requirements. Half an hour passed, and most of the leaders from the third-tier military factories gradually left the conference room. The reason was simple: their second-generation main battle tank designs and developments had failed to pass the Yanji military's rigorous review standards. The once bustling conference room was gone, with representatives from fewer than 6 mechanical military factories remaining. These remaining factories were all leaders in this fierce competition. The initial round of screening alone eliminated 95% of the third-tier military factories. However, what surprised Elder Wendy most was that the 077 mechanical military factory hadn't been eliminated. This meant that its second-generation main battle tank design and development plan had successfully passed the Yanji military's review and received approval. However, Elder Wendy remained convinced that his judgment was correct. While the 077 Mechanical Military Factory had some experience in tank manufacturing, its overall strength was still slightly lacking compared to several other major tank factories in the country. Therefore, Elder Welly remained convinced that the 077 Mechanical Military Factory had simply been lucky this time and would not make it to the final round. Mr. ZHU predicted that the 617 Machinery and Arsenal and the 625 Machinery and Arsenal would advance to the finals and become the champion and runner-up. As for the 077 Machinery and Arsenal, it would probably just be a runner-up. However, the final result was beyond Mr. Welly's expectations. Elder Welly watched the leaders of the third-tier military factories whose designs for the second-generation main battle tanks didn't meet the Yan Nation military's requirements leave the stage. His expression remained unchanged as he spoke calmly. "Alright, now everyone else should have second-generation main battle tank designs that meet our military's requirements, right?" He paused, then continued. "Then please each send a representative to present your second-generation main battle tank designs on stage and introduce them." At this point, Elder Welly looked at the crowd and continued. "Our military will select the best of your second-generation main battle tank designs to serve as Yan Nation's second-generation main battle tank design." Upon hearing Elder Welly's words, the remaining leaders of the mechanical and military factories began to look at each other, seemingly unwilling to be the first to present their second-generation main battle tank designs. While being the first to present might give them an advantage, it also carries the risk of being eliminated right from the start. Furthermore, if the first person to present their designs doesn't perform well, it will be even harder for those following to surpass them. So, everyone tacitly chose to remain inactive, wanting to see how others would react. For a moment, the scene was deadlocked. Old Welly noticed this scene, and the corners of his mouth rose slightly, revealing an imperceptible smile. "Don't you all want to come up?" Then he said in a firm tone. "Then follow our rules." Finally, he pointed in a direction. "Start from here." Since Lin Chenran and Song Xian were sitting in the back, they would be the last to appear on stage to introduce the design and development plan of their own second-generation main battle tank. Seeing this, Lin Chenran smiled slightly, thinking to himself, "The second-generation main battle tank of our 077 mechanical arsenal will be the last to appear on stage." Blinding you. Chapter 20. Take the cool off, and take the cool off. Since Elder Welly had laid out everything so perfectly and clearly, the representative from the mechanical arsenal that had been called upon naturally had to step forward and present the specific design and development plan for their factory's second-generation main battle tank. There was no other way, as Elder Welly had already established the rules and procedures. So, the representative from the mechanical arsenal that had been called upon had no choice but to step forward and present a detailed description of their second-generation main battle tank's design and development plan. At that moment, everyone in the audience listened raptly. However, halfway through, Lin Chenran couldn't help but shake his head. It was clear that this so-called second-generation main battle tank was actually an upgraded version of the Type 69 tank, its performance parameters barely meeting the basic requirements of the Yan state military. Compared to other advanced second-generation main battle tanks abroad, the gap was significant. This was especially true in terms of armament. They even planned to continue to carry a 110mm smoothbore gun. Considering that the larger 125mm smoothbore gun had long been in common use abroad, and this 110mm smoothbore gun is simply a younger brother in front of the 125mm smoothbore gun, Lin Chenran was in no mood to listen any further, because he felt that it was meaningless to do so. How much combat effectiveness can the modified Type 69 tank exert? If you overhaul the Type 69 tank, then Lin Chenran still thinks it's good, but what's the point of your minor repairs? In this case, the Yan state military can just place an order to purchase the Type 69 tanks. Why bother to hold such a grand bidding conference for the second-generation main battle tank of the Yan state? In fact, the purpose is very simple, which is to hope to design and develop a second-generation main battle tank that is more powerful than the Type 69 tank. Not only Lin Chenran shook his head and sighed. Even many senior Yan state military officials looked embarrassed and looked extremely embarrassed. It is obvious that the design and development plan of the second generation main battle tank being introduced on the stage cannot meet the needs of the Yan state military. While it was indeed significantly more powerful than the standards proposed by the Yan Guo military, it was ultimately still merely an improved version of the Type 69 tank. In the past, when military spending was often split into multiple parts, the Yan Guo military might have considered this approach. However, times have changed. The Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle produced by the 077 Machinery and Military Factory is now incredibly popular in the domestic market, significantly enriching the Yan Guo military's financial resources. Consequently, they have even higher expectations and aspirations for the second generation main battle tank. As the military leader's faces darkened, the head of the Machinery and Military Factory, who was presenting their own second generation main battle tank, felt a wave of dismay, as if he had fallen into an ice cellar. A chilling feeling. The military leaders' faces were gloomy, expressing their dissatisfaction with their Machinery and Military Factory's second generation main battle tank design and development plan. Despite the turmoil within him, the person in charge gritted his teeth and persevered. When he finally concluded his presentation, a sparse, encouraging round of applause erupted in the conference room. The representative from the Machinery and Arms Factory, hearing the encouraging applause, blushed crimson, looking utterly awful. He had never expected his meticulously planned second generation main battle tank design and development proposal to fail to meet the Yan Kingdom military's stringent standards. He fell into deep thought, agonizing over how to face the higher-ups at his own Machinery and Arms Factory. After all, this opportunity was crucial for their company. They had hoped to turn things around, secure an order from the Yan Kingdom military, and escape their current predicament. However, they ultimately failed. The Yan Kingdom military's disapproval of their design and development proposal dealt them a heavy blow. Immediately afterwards, a second representative from the Machinery and Arms Factory stepped forward and presented their own design and development proposal. However, the result was clear. The Yan Kingdom military also showed no interest in their second generation main battle tank design and development proposal. The representative who had taken the stage walked off the stage dejectedly, like a defeated rooster. Next, it was finally Su Yiming of the 625 Machinery and Arsenal, the sworn enemy of the 617th Machinery and Arsenal, the 625 Machinery and Arsenal. He took the stage to present the design and development plan for their factory's second generation main battle tank. Su Yiming was a renowned figure in the tank industry, having risen to the rank of deputy chief engineer at the 625 Machinery and Arsenal while still in his 40s. He single-handedly led and masterminded the design and development of the 625 Machinery and Arsenal's second generation main battle tank. What stunning designs would this young and promising deputy chief engineer unveil? Everyone in the room held their breath, anticipating the 625 Machinery and Arsenal's second generation main battle tank's design. The weaponry in the 625 Machinery and Arsenal's second generation main battle tank's design and development plan was a 120mm smoothbore gun. This news lit up the eyes of the military leaders present, as if they were witnessing their own powerful second generation main battle tank. The 625 Machinery and Arsenal had a unique surprise for them. Previously, other Machinery and Arsenal's second generation main battle tank designs and development proposals had all employed the most mature 110mm smoothbore gun, or the relatively mature 115mm smoothbore gun. However, the 625 Machinery and Arsenal chose the 120mm smoothbore gun, still in the theoretical stage, without hesitation. This bold and innovative spirit amazed everyone. Just then, a representative from the Machinery and Arsenal raised his hand, indicating he had something to say. Elder Wei noticed and nodded, signaling him to express his opinion. The representative slowly spoke, "Engineer Su, although the 212 Machinery and Arsenal has already approved the 120mm smoothbore gun project, due to funding shortages, this project currently remains at the proposal stage, with no substantive progress." His tone hinted at concern and doubt. Whether it will be able to catch up with your 625 Machinery and Arsenal's second generation main battle tank by then remains uncertain. This statement was like a bombshell, catching the attention and heated discussion of everyone present. You actually intend to use the illusory 120mm smoothbore gun as the main weapon of the 625 mechanical arsenal's second generation main battle tank? This is clearly a deception to our military. These words were like a sharp sword, piercing the core of the problem, causing the Yan state military to re-examine this seemingly beautiful plan. Chapter 21. All main weapons other than 120mm smoothbore guns are eliminated. As the representative from the machinery and arms factory openly expressed his doubts, the scene erupted in a clamor. A chorus of Yan state military leaders murmured among themselves, their voices etched with confusion and worry. They had long hoped that the second generation main battle tank would be equipped with a more powerful 120mm smoothbore gun. However, reality dealt them a heavy blow. The 212 machinery and arms factory's performance on this crucial project had been profoundly disappointing. The approved 120mm smoothbore gun project remained on paper, with no progress to speak of. This situation left the military leaders feeling frustrated and anxious. They knew time was of the essence, and that failure to address this issue quickly would severely impact the nation's military strength and strategic planning. However, the 212 machinery and arms factory's responsibility was hardly to blame. Without military funding, ensuring the project's smooth progress would be nearly impossible. Especially in the early days of reform and opening up, everything else had to give way to the economy. Yan state's military budgets were repeatedly cut. Major third-tier military factories were struggling, and the 212 machinery and arms factory was no exception. Even workers' wages and benefits are difficult to guarantee. Where would there be extra funds to invest in the new 120mm smoothbore gun project? Developing a 115mm smoothbore gun is truly remarkable. Currently, the 120mm smoothbore gun project is still in the planning stage, but with sufficient funding, success is sure to be within reach. Furthermore, the research and development of a second-generation main battle tank is no overpass undertaking. Even with the best progress, it will likely take several years to complete the verification phase. It's particularly important to emphasize that the second-generation main battle tank design and development plan proposed by the 625 machinery and arsenal is a completely new concept, requiring extensive re-examination in many areas. Su Yiming, standing on the stage, was fully aware of all this. He responded calmly, although a 120mm smoothbore gun isn't likely to be released anytime soon, he said, second generation main battle tanks will also take a considerable amount of time to verify, test, and then roll out. I believe in the capabilities of the 212 mechanical arsenal. As long as they are given sufficient funding, they'll definitely be able to design and develop the 120mm smoothbore gun, Su Yiming said confidently. Just as the representative from the mechanical arsenal was about to refute Su Yiming, Lin Chenran, sitting in the last row, suddenly raised his hand, as if he had something to say. Elder Wendy, noticing this, raised his lips slightly and nodded, agreeing to let him speak. After receiving permission, Lin Chenran stood up and bowed deeply to the assembled group. Then, in a clear and firm voice, he said, "Perhaps you're not familiar with me yet, so first, allow me to introduce myself. I'm a representative from the 077 Mechanical Arsenal. My name is Lin Chenran." As Lin Chenran finished his introduction, the room suddenly became lively, with everyone buzzing and talking. So he is Lin Chenran, the director of the 077 Mechanical Arsenal. Someone said in surprise. What a promising young man. Another person exclaimed. I heard that the idea of converting the Type 59 tank into a civilian engineering vehicle came from him. When Mr. Wendy heard this, he immediately waved his hand and signaled everyone to be quiet. The voices of the representatives of the mechanical arsenal at the scene gradually subsided. Lin Chenran continued, if our second generation main battle tanks use 110mm smoothbore guns or 115mm smoothbore guns, then it would be a pipe dream for us to reach the international first line level in the field of tanks. His tone was firm and serious, and everyone couldn't help but fall into deep thought. Everyone should know that military powers such as the Russians and the Americans have already applied 125mm smoothbore guns to their main battle tanks, and have used them for many years. Even some second-rate countries have adopted 120mm smoothbore guns. Do we still have to stay at the stage of 110mm or 115mm smoothbore guns? This is undoubtedly falling behind. Lin Chenran's words rang in everyone's ears like an alarm bell. At this time, Mr. ZHU also stood up and agreed with Lin Chenran's words. That's right. Although our country's 120mm smoothbore gun has not yet been successfully developed, with our country's scientific research strength, we will definitely be able to make a breakthrough in a few years. He swept his eyes firmly over everyone present and continued, we can't just care about the immediate interests, we must also focus on future development. Only by having advanced weapons and equipment can we ensure national security and military combat effectiveness. Then Mr. ZHU revealed a piece of information. The second generation main battle tanks of our 617 mechanical arsenal will also be equipped with 120mm smoothbore guns as their main weapon. Although there is a tense competitive relationship between the 617 mechanical arsenal and the 625 mechanical arsenal. But right is right, wrong is wrong. We cannot damage the interests of the country just because the 617 mechanical arsenal and the 625 mechanical arsenal are in a competitive relationship. Mr. ZHU is known as the sole figure of the Yan state tank industry. With his outstanding wisdom and profound attainments, he has become a legendary man who supports half of the history of Yan state tanks. Every decision he makes affects the development direction of Yan state tanks. When he expressed his support for the Yan state's second generation tanks to use 120mm smoothbore guns as the main weapon, this decision undoubtedly became the final conclusion. As a result, the faces of the other representatives who had not yet introduced the design and development plans of the second generation tanks of their own mechanical arsenals suddenly became very embarrassed. These representatives secretly groaned in their hearts. They had originally been full of confidence and were ready to present their own plans to everyone. But at this moment, they found that the second generation tank design and development plans they brought had no advantages at all. They had always believed that their plan was much better than the previous two plans. Although they both had 110mm or 115mm smoothbore guns, they were more outstanding in terms of speed and defensive armor. However, reality dealt them a heavy blow. The Yan state military rejected their second generation tank design, which lacked a 120mm smoothbore gun. A dead silence fell over the conference room, leaving only 3 machinery and military factories with second generation tank designs unscathed. These 3 lucky winners were the 625 Machinery and Military Factory, which had just been introduced, the 617 Machinery and Military Factory, where Mr. ZHU worked, and the 077 Machinery and Military Factory, where Lin Chenran, who had just supported Su Yiming, worked. Faced with this situation, everyone looked at each other in bewilderment, momentarily unsure what to do. Some expressed surprise, as if they couldn't believe what was happening. Others frowned, lost in thought. Still others parted their lips, about to speak, but ultimately remained silent. A tense and oppressive atmosphere permeated the conference room, as if a storm was about to break out. This, that, a chorus of exclamations and questions mingled, further complicating the already chaotic atmosphere. How could the 077 Machinery and Military Factory be so avant-garde? The main weapon of the second generation tank is the 120mm smoothbore gun. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 22 Lin Chenran, the military doesn't want it? Then I'll export it. The 077 Machinery and Arms Factory. While they had a relatively solid foundation in tank manufacturing, having previously produced the Type 59 tank on contract, they still lagged behind any of the other machinery and armament factories present. The 077 Machinery and Arms Factory's modification of the Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle was merely a fluke, a case of a blind cat stumbling upon a dead mouse. However, things were different now. In the 077 Machinery and Arms Factory's second generation tank design and development proposal, the main weapon, like those of the 617 Machinery and Arms Factory and the 625 Machinery and Arms Factory, was a 120mm smoothbore gun. Everyone was astonished. This was truly remarkable. Elder Wendy, seated at the head of the table, was particularly stunned. He had originally assumed that the 617 Machinery and Arms Factory and the 625 Machinery and Arms Factory would advance to the finals of the second generation main battle tank bidding competition, with the 077 Machinery and Arms Factory merely playing second fiddle. He was surprised to find that the 077 Machinery and Arms Factory had also made it to the finals. Because time was of the essence and to prevent leaks, Mr. Wendy ordered the representatives from the eliminated machinery and military factories to evacuate the meeting room first. The representatives left the meeting room with faces filled with resignation. After everyone had left, Elder Wendy smiled and congratulated Lin Chenran and the other two. Congratulations, everyone. The second generation main battle tank program you designed and developed has successfully entered the final round. Then Elder Wendy said half jokingly, I really didn't expect that the 077 mechanical arsenal would be able to squeeze into the final round. I had originally estimated that the 617 mechanical arsenal and the 625 mechanical arsenal would make it to the final round. Director Lin, I didn't expect the design and development capabilities of your 077 mechanical arsenal to be so strong. In public, titles are used to address each other. In the face of Elder Wendy's praise, Lin Chenran was very humble. He responded, Mr. Wendy, you are too kind. In fact, we ourselves did not expect to make it to the final round. We came to the military's second generation tank bidding conference with the attitude of coming here to learn. Then Lin Chenran joked, even if our second generation tank design and development program is not favored by the military, we have other ways out. We can sell it abroad. His nonchalant expression instantly made everyone present burst into laughter. So that's how it was. The 077 Machinery and Military Factory had come to the Yanji military's second generation tank tender just to try their luck. Even if the Yanji military ultimately disapproved of their second generation tank design and development, they still had the ability to sell it abroad. All of this was thanks to the Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle. Not only has domestic sales of the Type 59 increased significantly, but it has also successfully established sales channels abroad. This is especially true in developing countries, where demand for civilian engineering vehicles is enormous. And the Yanji Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle is incredibly affordable. For the price of one civilian engineering vehicle from a developed country, you could buy two. Furthermore, the Type 59 civilian engineering vehicle is of superior quality and powerful. Most crucially important, the 077 Machinery and Military Factory provides after-sales maintenance and support services, which are far superior to those of other companies in the industry. This move directly led many civilian vehicle companies to follow suit, increasing the maintenance support for their own products. Why did this happen? The reason is simple, the sheer strength of the 077 Machinery and Military Factory. Take the Type 59 civilian vehicle, for example, it far surpasses its competitors in every aspect. If these civilian vehicle companies continue with their past practices of delays, confusion, and even arbitrary charges for after-sales service, it's foreseeable that their market share will eventually be completely taken away by the 077 Machinery and Military Factory. Price reductions are impossible. Instead, they are choosing to improve the quality of their after-sales service. This way, they can still maintain a substantial sales market. This may harm the interests of the engineers who travel abroad for maintenance, but in the interests of the greater good, they must be sacrificed. Elder Wendy then signaled Su Yiming to continue explaining the design and development plan for the second generation main battle tank developed by the 625 Machinery and Military Factory. Su Yiming, without hesitation, continued to explain in detail the design and development plan for the second generation main battle tank developed by his own Machinery and Military Factory. Lin Chenran, sitting in the audience, frowned more and more as he listened, his confusion growing. This, he muttered to himself, isn't this an improved version of the Type 79 main battle tank? Lin Chenran's eyes widened as he carefully examined the design and development drawings from the 625 machinery and military factory on the stage. After confirming it, he was filled with shock and confusion. That's right, it's the Type 79 tank. Note, the Type 79 tank mentioned in this article hasn't been built yet, so please don't connect it to the real world. It's just that the main weapon has been replaced with a more powerful 120mm smoothbore gun. But otherwise, it seems largely unchanged. Suddenly, a thought flashed through Lin Chenran's mind, a sudden realization. He remembered that the Type 79 tank was developed by the 625 machinery and military factory. Lin Chenran couldn't help but pat his head, muttering to himself, "Oh, so that's it. Why didn't I think of that earlier?" At that moment, he finally understood why he felt so familiar. If the 625 machinery and military factory's second generation tank design and development plan was the Type 79 tank, then what was the 617 machinery and military factory? Lin Chenran secretly speculated, could it be a Type 80 tank? This thought lingered in his mind. Then, when Mr. ZHU took the stage to present the design and development plan for the second generation tank from the 617th Machinery and Arsenal, Lin Chenran's thoughts were confirmed. After Su Yiming detailed his own second generation main battle tank design and development plan, the entire venue erupted in excitement, with thunderous applause from the audience. The reaction from the Yan Kingdom military was particularly strong. They were full of praise for the second generation tank design and development proposed by the 625th Machinery and Arsenal. This second generation main battle tank boasted a powerful 120mm smoothbore gun, capable of easily penetrating enemy armor. For speed, it was equipped with a domestically developed 12,150 L7BW diesel engine. Its rated power reached 580 horsepower, and its rated speed reached an astonishing 2000 rpm. This powerful powertrain gave the tank lightning-fast maneuverability. Most notably, its innovative armor protection was a major breakthrough. The second-generation main battle tank utilizes the most advanced special steel material. This material is not only incredibly strong, effectively resistant to all types of weapons, but also boasts excellent ballistic resistance and lightweight characteristics. This undoubtedly provides the tank with solid and reliable protection, making it an indestructible mobile fortress on the battlefield. After Su Yiming arrived, Mr. ZHU from the 617th Machinery Arsenal took the stage to present the design and development plan for their company's second generation tank. Chapter 23 Lin Chenran, I was pushed up to explain. The 617th Machinery and Arsenal took no assistance, striding unsteadily onto the podium. His right arm had been severed during a mortar test firing, leaving him without an arm, which affected his balance. Numerous military leaders and representatives from several machinery and arsenals in the audience gave Mr. ZHU a round of applause. Suddenly, the entire conference room erupted in thunderous applause. This was Mr. ZHU, the key figure in the continued advancement of Yan's tank industry, a legendary figure who held up half of the glorious history of Yan's tanks. As he ascended the podium, Mr. ZHU bowed deeply to everyone present, expressing his gratitude. "Thank you." He then proceeded to explain in detail to the Yan military personnel and representatives from the numerous machinery and arsenals present the second generation main battle tank design independently developed by the 617th Machinery and Arsenal. After listening to the presentation for a while, a look of undisguised surprise crossed Lin Chenran's previously calm face. He thought to himself, is that so? Just as he had anticipated, the second generation main battle tank design developed by the 617th Machinery and Military Factory was surprisingly identical to the Type 80 tank he remembered from his previous life. The biggest change was its main weapon. The original 110mm smoothbore gun had been replaced with a more powerful 120mm smoothbore gun. The 617th Machinery and Military Factory was truly a long-established and powerful tank manufacturer in Yan country. Its meticulously designed and developed second-generation main battle tank design was clearly superior to the one presented by the 625th Machinery and Military Factory earlier. Su Yiming's expression clearly reflected the result. In the battle of second-generation main battle tanks, The 625th Machinery and Military Factory was slightly behind, while the 617th Machinery and Military Factory clearly held the upper hand. After Mr. ZHU finished detailing the 617th Machinery and Military Factory's independently designed and developed second-generation main battle tank design, the conference room erupted in thunderous applause. The Yan country military leaders, in particular, were particularly impressed, their smiles growing even wider. Because for them, the second-generation main battle tank of the 617 mechanical arsenal is more advanced, and can even be compared with the world-class level. However, in the eyes of Lin Chenran, the second-generation main battle tank designed and developed by the 617 mechanical arsenal can only barely touch the international first-line level. To be precise, it should be at the quasi-first-line level. There is still a certain gap from the real first-line level. After Mr. ZHU stepped down from the stage, the eyes of everyone in the conference room were like spotlights firmly fixed on the representatives of the 077 mechanical arsenal, Lin Chenran and Song Xian. Although Lin Chenran had been very humble before, he said that their 077 mechanical arsenal was participating in the Yan State military's second-generation main battle tank bidding conference with an attitude of learning. And as a result, they successfully entered the finals. This made the other representatives of the mechanical arsenal who were determined to win blush. At this time, Lin Chenran and Song Xian exchanged glances with each other in the audience. Lin Chenran, Mr. Song, it's your turn to go up on stage and introduce the second generation main battle tanks of our 077 mechanical arsenal. Song Xian, however, looked reluctant and retorted, Zyro Lindsay, you are bullying me, an old man. Didn't we agree before we came that you would go up and introduce the second generation main battle tanks of our factory? Why did you suddenly change your mind? However, at this moment, both of them realized that there were many pairs of eyes around them staring at them closely. That. For a moment, the whole scene fell into an eerie silence, and the atmosphere instantly became awkward. It turned out that a group of Yan country military leaders, as well as representatives from the other two mechanical arsenals, were staring at Lin Chenran and Song Xian with a straight gaze, as if they wanted to see through them. This sudden gaze made both of their faces blush. Just now, the two were still communicating with their eye contact, discussing who would go up to introduce the design and development plan of the second generation main battle tank of their own 077 mechanical arsenal. However, the eyes of many bigwigs suddenly focused on them, making them a little overwhelmed. Song Xian gently pushed Lin Chenran, with a hint of anxiety in his eyes. His meaning was very clear, go up quickly, don't let these military leaders and colleagues wait too long. After all, everyone came here for the design and development plan of the second generation main battle tank. If it is delayed, it will probably leave a bad impression on people. Because the trip was arranged too hastily, and Song Xian was no longer young, what was even worse was that the road conditions along the way were extremely bad. This series of factors made Song Xian extremely tired, and his physical condition had not yet fully recovered. He simply did not have enough energy to go on stage to give a speech. Therefore, this arduous task could only be undertaken by Lin Chenran. Faced with the situation in front of him, Lin Chenran took a deep breath and tried to calm himself down. Then he stepped onto the podium steadily, ready to introduce the design and development plan of his own second generation main battle tank in detail to everyone present. When Lin Chenran walked onto the podium, he first bowed deeply to the military leaders and industry seniors present to express his sincere gratitude. At this time, the military leaders and the audience began to whisper, "Is this the child of Old Man Lin's family? Really young." As expected of an outstanding child of Old Man Lin's family, he is different from others. Lin Chenran on the podium said jokingly, originally, Mr. Song was to come up to introduce the design and development plan of the second generation main battle tank of our 077 mechanical arsenal. However, the road was too bumpy when he came here, and Mr. Song fell ill, so I had to come up. The design and development plan of the second generation main battle tank of our 077 mechanical arsenal was led by Mr. Song, and I was just a mouthpiece. If you want to correct or discuss, you can find Mr. Song at that time. Don't look for me, I don't have that ability. After Lin Chenran finished speaking, everyone in the audience was amused. Seeing that the atmosphere on the scene was ignited by himself, Lin Chenran immediately began to introduce to everyone the design and development plan of the second generation main battle tank of his own 077 mechanical arsenal. When Lin Chenran showed everyone the original drawing of the design and development plan of the second generation main battle tank of his own 077 mechanical arsenal, it instantly aroused heated discussion among everyone. Why is the second generation main battle tank of the 077 mechanical arsenal so similar to the Type 59 tank? Then Lin Chenran revealed the answer. Are you all wondering why the second generation main battle tank designed and developed by our 077 mechanical arsenal is so similar to the Type 59 tank? When Lin Chenran finished speaking, everyone present nodded repeatedly. Yes, our second generation main battle tank is a large-scale improvement based on the Type 59 tank. It caused an uproar instantly. Please Godfathers read and collect it. Chapter 24. Is the Type 59 tank old and worn? Don't panic after the magic modification. The 077 mechanical arsenal turned out to be a large-scale magical transformation based on the original Type 59. This makes people wonder, does the 077 mechanical arsenal have a special feeling for the Type 59? Knowing that the Type 59 is so backward, why do they insist on making magical modifications on its basis? Facing the uproar of many military leaders and mechanical arsenal leaders below the stage, Lin Chenran raised the corners of his mouth slightly, revealing an imperceptible smile. Of course, he knew in his heart why these people were so surprised. Lin Chenran explained calmly, everyone should know that our 077 mechanical arsenal does have a certain foundation in the field of tank manufacturing, but in terms of design and research and development, there are still some gaps compared with other large tank manufacturers. Therefore, choosing the Type 59 as a blueprint as a basis is really a helpless move. Lin Chenran's words revealed a hint of helplessness. Then, changing the subject, a mysterious smile appeared on his face. He continued, however, everyone should not underestimate the Type 59. Although it may be a little behind the times, compared to some of today's new tanks, it's a bit behind the times. But the design and development plan for the second generation main battle tank based on it, developed by our 077 machinery and military factory, is not behind the times at all. He paused, then continued, some people think the Type 59 is old, outdated, and worn out. That's simply because they haven't witnessed the amazing modification technology of our 077 machinery and military factory. His tone was filled with confidence and pride, as if he could already see the future scene of this second generation main battle tank, modified from the Type 59, displaying its might on the battlefield. The Yan state military leaders present, as well as the heads of the other two machinery and military factories, nodded in agreement. The 077 machinery and military factory's second generation main battle tank design and development plan had not yet been fully explained. To dismiss their hard work based solely on a single original blueprint would be reckless and frivolous. Lin Chenran, feeling somewhat reassured by the crowd's reactions, proceeded to detail the design and development of his company's second generation main battle tank. First, regarding its armament, the tank's primary weapon is a powerful 120mm smoothbore cannon, capable of easily piercing enemy armor. Its secondary armament is a 7.62mm coaxial machine gun, providing powerful close-quarters suppression capabilities. Furthermore, this coaxial machine gun boasts a rate of fire of 350 rounds per minute, an astonishing muzzle velocity of 865 meters per second, and an effective range of 1000 meters. In terms of weaponry, the 077 machinery and military factory's second generation main battle tank rivals the firepower designs of the previous two factories. However, the 077 machinery and military factory's second generation main battle tank does not utilize the common diesel engine found in China. Instead, it employs the same 4-stroke, V-shaped, 12-cylinder V46 diesel engine as the Russian T-72 tank. This engine boasts a powerful 760 horsepower. If the most powerful 760 horsepower version is not available, then the 700 horsepower 4-stroke V12 cylinder V46 diesel engine is also a good choice. After all, for Yan country, even the lowest configuration 700 horsepower V12 cylinder V46 diesel engine can meet the needs. At this moment, Waylao suddenly interrupted Lin Chenran's explanation. 760 horsepower 4-stroke V12 cylinder V46 diesel engine. Is a Russian bear willing to sell it? This is the core technology of their T-72 tank. Moreover, we want to buy not only the diesel engine itself, but also the technology and production line that match it. This is exactly the common idea of many Yan country military leaders. Indeed, according to the ideas of a group of Yan country military leaders, not only do they need to purchase engines, but they also have to acquire the corresponding technology and production lines. Otherwise, like domestic fighter jets, they'll lack a strong and powerful heart to support them. Lin Chenran said calmly, as long as the price is right, Russia should still be willing to sell these backward technologies. After all, Russia's domestic economic situation is not optimistic now. And they have even abandoned the traditional diesel engine for their own country's third-generation main battle tanks and instead adopted a 985 horsepower gas turbine that has been modified from an aviation gas turbine engine. Then, he added, the second-generation main battle tanks of our 077 mechanical military factory can also choose to use domestically produced engines. The overall weight of the second-generation main battle tanks designed and developed by us is much lighter than the second-generation main battle tanks of the 617 mechanical military factory and the 625 mechanical military factory. Equipped with the same type of domestically produced diesel engine, the second-generation main battle tanks developed by our 617 mechanical military factory are also much faster than the second-generation main battle tanks of the other two mechanical military factories. It has to be said that the main feature of the 077 mechanical military factory is convenience and practicality, and it can be done in any way that is convenient. And the domestically produced tank engines are also modeled after those of Russia, so they are almost the same. The 077 machinery and military factory wasn't solely focused on the Yan Kingdom's second-generation main battle tank order, they were also eyeing the vast international arms market. Upon hearing this, everyone present suddenly grasped the truth. They had initially assumed the 077 machinery and military factory was acting impulsively and without a plan, but now it seemed they had a more far-reaching plan. So there was a plan B. At this moment, Elder Wei couldn't help but think in a flurry of thoughts. Upon hearing this, the other military leaders also expressed their agreement with Lin Chenran's statement. If, as Lin Chenran had predicted, Yan Kingdom successfully imported Russia's advanced 760 horsepower 4-stroke V12 diesel engine technology and the associated production line, it would undoubtedly significantly enhance the overall strength of the Yan Kingdom's military. Who wouldn't want a more powerful and advanced main battle tank? Everyone did. According to Lin Chenran, even if Russia's 760 horsepower 4-stroke V12 diesel engine technology and the associated production line ultimately failed to be imported, they could ultimately be exported to other countries. A piece of cloth on my head, Saudi Arabia, the richest country in the world, would surely be happy to buy it. And so would its other big brothers. The Type 077 machinery arsenal wouldn't lose money anyway. The Yan Kingdom's military could request a batch of second-generation main battle tanks equipped with 760 horsepower 4-stroke V12 V46 diesel engines. If worst comes to worst, they could replace them with domestically produced diesel engines. While they might be slightly less powerful, they'd still have the same firepower and armor. If Russia doesn't sell us the 760 horsepower 4-stroke V12 V46 diesel engine, we can buy the same type from the eagle next door, Song Xian said calmly from the audience. The two countries are still in the final stages of their honeymoon relationship. Chapter 25 Announcement of Special Steals. The Eagle Source. Everyone at the scene looked at Song Xian with confusion. Why did the matter suddenly come to the Eagle Source? If we can import a 760 horsepower 4-stroke V-shaped 12-cylinder V46 diesel engine from the Russian Bear, then there is no need to import a diesel engine of the same level from the Eagle Source. Old Wendy directly rejected Song Xian's idea. After all, the Eagle Source has always been wary of the Yan country, and introducing diesel engine related technology from them is not only expensive, but also comes with various harsh conditions. In contrast, the Russian Bear is different. As long as the price is right, and a group of officers and engineers are drunk at the table, everything can be negotiated. Although the Yan country and the Eagle Source are still in the so-called honeymoon period, it is actually entering the final stage. Especially after the tension between the Yan country and the Russian bear has eased, the honeymoon period between the Yan country and the Eagle Source will end early. As the head of the Yan country's military equipment department, Old Wendy is well aware of the inside information. Since Lin Chenran proposed to obtain a 760 horsepower 4-stroke V-type 12-cylinder V46 diesel engine from the Russian bear, there is no need to consider the same level diesel engine in the Eagle Source. Lin Chenran smiled slightly and said, "Old Wendy, and all the military leaders, we buy diesel engines from the Eagle Source for export. Saudi Arabia, the richest country in the world, uses American weapons, and one of the exports of our second-generation main battle tanks is assembled with various American accessories. To meet the diverse needs of customers worldwide, the 077 machinery and military factory has taken great pains. For countries with a preponderance of American weaponry, a second-generation main battle tank is assembled directly from American parts. For countries with a preponderance of Soviet weaponry, a second-generation main battle tank is assembled using Soviet parts." Mr. ZHU and Su Yiming, both in the audience, were astonished. They hadn't expected the 077 machinery and military factory to possess such meticulous market positioning and product strategy. This approach would not only meet the needs of different countries, but also enhance the adaptability and competitiveness of its products. Lin Chenran had previously stated that the 077 machinery and military factory would not only compete for orders from the Yan state military, but also secure a share of the overseas arms sales market. And now, this statement has been proven true. Amazing. Truly amazing. As expected of you, the 077 machinery and military factory has long surpassed many other third-tier Yan state machinery and military factories, holding a commanding lead. While numerous third-tier domestic military factories were vying for orders for the Yan state military's second-generation main battle tanks, they hadn't yet expanded their focus to the international arms sales market. Originally, it was thought that the 077 mechanical arsenal, like them, belonged to the first layer. Unexpectedly, the 077 mechanical arsenal had already reached the atmosphere. It directly set its sights on the second-generation main battle tanks in the international arms sales market. Our main target is still the 760 horsepower 4-stroke V-type 12-cylinder V46 diesel engine in the hands of the Russian bear. Lin Chenran agreed with Mr. Wen's proposal and emphasized that priority should be given to this powerful power heart in the hands of the Russian bear. Although the Russian bear and the Eagle Source gave up diesel engines in the development of the next generation of main battle tanks, Yan country currently does not even have such a high-powered diesel engine. Now diesel engines are still the best choice for Yan country tanks. Lin Chenran continued, in terms of tank armor, our 077 mechanical arsenal has made new breakthroughs. We have developed special steel materials ourselves, and its strength is several times that of our country's existing special steels. Although it has not yet entered the final testing stage, but everyone showed an incredible expression when they heard it. The 077 mechanical arsenal actually made a special steel, and its strength far exceeds the special steels currently available in the country. This hiss. Hearing Lin Chenran's confident answer, the big guys present couldn't help but take a breath, and an incredible feeling surged in their hearts. A thought emerged in their minds at the same time. Didn't Lin Chenran deceive us? Does the 077 mechanical arsenal really have such strength? Mr. ZHU was trembling with excitement. He widened his eyes and asked in disbelief, Director Lin, your 077 mechanical arsenal actually developed a special steel independently? How is this possible? The other big guys also echoed, yes, Director Lin, when can you let us see this special steel with our own eyes? However, Lin Chenran just smiled slightly and responded in a relaxed tone, everyone is too anxious. He went on to explain, at present, the special steel has not yet been fully formed, and a series of tests and verification work is still required. So, please be patient and wait for a while. After hearing this, everyone showed an expression of sudden enlightenment on their faces, but deep down they were still shocked by the news. After all, they all knew what it meant to be able to independently develop special steel. After Galileo and other Yan state military leaders looked at each other, they came to a unanimous decision in their hearts. If the 077 mechanical arsenal can really make special steel, and it is stronger than the special steel currently used in the country, it will directly affect the various weapons and equipment of Yan state. For example, nuclear submarines. Then, Lin Chenran continued to introduce the design and development plan of his own second generation main battle tank. The second generation main battle tank of the 077 mechanical arsenal has a very low body. The height from the ground to the top of the turret is only 2.5 meters. The armor thickness ranges from 12.5 millimeters to 125 millimeters. In order to increase its protection and bulletproof capabilities, it is deliberately tilted at multiple angles on the front and sides. Fire control system, a periscope type, minimally perturbative. Simplified fire control system utilizes electrical synchronization to automatically synchronize the gun axis with the line of sight. It integrates day and night aiming and laser ranging, and features integrated collective triple defense systems. After a half-hour presentation, the Yan state military leaders and representatives from the other two mechanical arsenals gained a deeper understanding of the design and development plan for the 077 mechanical arsenal's second generation main battle tank. This isn't really a second generation main battle tank, but rather a 2.5 generation main battle tank. Aside from the main armament and gun system, which differ slightly from the third generation main battle tanks of the United States and Russia, the other differences are similar. In particular, the 077 mechanical arsenal's second generation main battle tank excels in armor defense. Under the same conditions, the 077 mechanical arsenal's second generation main battle tank can destroy an enemy tank without being able to penetrate its armor. At this point, Mr. ZHU of the 617 mechanical arsenal and Su Yiming, a representative from the 625 mechanical arsenal, looked embarrassed. Compared with the second generation main battle tanks of the 077 machinery arsenal, their design and development plans appear to be relatively backward. It's not that they are not strong, but that the opponents are too strong. Type 80 tank basic specifications, WZL-22, weight 38 tons, length 6.325 meters, width 3.37 meters, height 2.86 meters, capacity 4 people, armor homogeneous steel, main weapon type 81, 105 millimeters. Caliber rifled gun, ammunition base 44 rounds, secondary weapon 7.62 millimeters, coaxial parallel machine gun. 12.7mm anti-aircraft machine gun engine, 12,150 ZL turbocharged diesel engine, 730 horsepower, 537 kilowatts, power/weight 19 horsepower/ton, suspension torsion bar, suspension combat range 450 km 600 km after external fuel tank, speed 60 km/hour. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.